You by the
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeart Radio app. He's a Texas legend, a Hall of Fame broadcaster, the voice of the Texas Longhorns, and your host of the Craig Way Show. Here he is now, Craig Way.
From Charles Schwab Field in Omaha, Nebraska, it's an elimination game in the 2026 NCAA Men's College World Series. The Texas Longhorns against the Alabama Crimson Tide. The 1-2 to Torres. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Working around a one-out single, Ruger Rioja strikes out the side in the top of the first. 1-0 the count of Mendoza. Hit swung on ground ball. That's through down the left field line. Rounding third, Robbins will score. Carson Tinney will head to third base. Mendoza goes to second. It's an RBI double for Ethan Mendoza. The Longhorns strike first. They lead 1-0. Stretch from Adams in the pitch to A-Rod. Swings here and chops the ground fair. Down the right field line. It'll score 2 runs. Rodriguez will dig for second, and he'll hold there. 3 doubles here in the bottom of the first. The Longhorns lead it 3-0. Ruger ready in the 0-2. Swung on, line, caught, double play on the bag. Ashton Larson snags the line shot off the bat of Brennan Holt and easily doubles off the runner from first, Eric Hines, for a quick double play and 2 outs. The pitch swung on, and that's lifted to shallow left field. It's going to fall for a base hit. Eric Hines went racing over, but realized he didn't have a play. It drops in for an opposite field 2-out RBI single. Casey Borba scores from third. Anthony Pack Jr., the freshman, with his first hit in the College World Series. And the Longhorns get the run right back. They go up 4-1. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Mendoza. And he swings and hits it through on the right side, of base hit. Rounding third, Tinney's digging for the plate. Here comes the throw. Tinney slides. He's safe. And moving to second on the throw is Mendoza, who's 2 for 2. Pack is at third. It's 5-1 Texas. The pitch. Swings here and hits a ball. This one a sinking liner to left center. It'll fall in between the 2 fielders. It'll roll to the wall. The Longhorns will get more run production. Racing for third. Rodriguez slides. He's safe with a triple. Texas strikes again. Pack and Mendoza both score. It's 7-1 Texas. Here's the pitch. This is hit on the ground to second. Up with it, a throw to second for 1. Relay to first. In time! 4-6-3 Hammond-Egger. The double play ends the inning. Ruger Riojas, the stretch. The 1-2 pitch to Peyton Steele. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. And Riojas able to pick up strikeout number 5 to end the 4th with minimal damage done. The 0-2 pitch to Eric Hines. And that is strike 3 call. Riojas gets it. What a way to put an exclamation point on a big afternoon for Ruger Riojas. A strikeout to retire the Tide in order in the 6th. The pitch. He swings here and hits the ball well out toward left. Chasing the left fielder Hines. Into the corner. Say goodnight to it. Apo Taco. Anthony Pack Jr. bends it around the left field foul pole for a home run into the Texas bullpen, and the Longhorns now lead it 9-2. With a payoff pitch, Adrian Rodriguez. And he swings here, and it's a high fly ball deep to right. Say goodnight to this one. Adrian Rodriguez. What a day. 4 for 4. And now drives in a career-high 6 runs. And the Longhorns have blown it open. They lead it 11-2. Here's a pitch, and that's lined in the left field, a base hit. Rounding third, Robbins. He will score. Headed for third base is Tinney. He'll slide in. The ball gets away, but no further advancement. It's an RBI single from Anthony Pack Jr. to score Aiden Robbins, and it's now 12-2 Texas. And the pitch. Swung on, and he lines it fair. Down the right field line, it's going to be another extra base hit. A run scores. An amazing afternoon for Adrian Rodriguez. 5 for 5, 7 RBIs. He's hit for the cycle. The Longhorns now lead 14-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Cody Howard strikes him out. It ends the ball game. And the Longhorns are still playing baseball in 2026. Final score here in this elimination game at the College World Series in Omaha. The Texas Longhorns 14. The Alabama Crimson Tide 2.
And that, folks, is how it sounded yesterday on AM 1300 The Zone. The Longhorns not only stay alive, but they do it in style, beating Alabama 14-2, setting up a matchup with the Georgia Bulldogs tonight. Yeah, that same pesky team that dealt Texas a defeat in Game 1 of this College World Series. Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Jake Herman, in for Craig Way for the first couple hours of today's show. Craig will be with us in the 4 o'clock hour from Charles Schwab Field in Omaha, where Texas will look to continue its quest through the consolation bracket. They are 3 wins away from playing for the College World Series championship. They got to get past Georgia tonight, and if they do that, Oklahoma would lie in wait. The Longhorns would need to beat the Sooners twice, but it's one challenge at a time, one hurdle at a time for Jim Schlossnagle and the Longhorn baseball team. We're going to break down the win from last night. We're going to look ahead to the game tonight against Georgia. We're with you from 2 to 5 here on AM 1300 The Zone. Like I mentioned, Jake Herman here filling in for hours, the 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock hours of the show. We will have Craig join us from Omaha for hour number 3. Cameron Parker will also join us in a matter of minutes. He'll talk Texas baseball with us, offer a preview into the U.S. Open, and we'll discuss some other topics in college football as well. We'll bring you some closure on the Brendan Sorsby story, bring you some of Steve Sarkisian's comments on Kay Adams' podcast yesterday, talking a little bit about the development of Arch Manning, even hinting at a potential 2027 return. I know it might be pie in the sky, but we'll talk about those comments and let you hear them in case you missed them yesterday. We'll also have comments from the Longhorns in their post-game press conference after yesterday's win over Alabama. Hear from Jim Schlossnagle, Ethan Mendoza, Ruger Riojas, and of course, the man of the hour, Adrian Rodriguez, who hit for the cycle. That's the 3rd time in the history of the College World Series that a player has hit for the cycle. Minnesota's Jerry Kindall did it in 1956, and then 2 years ago, Christian Moore at Tennessee did so. And Rodriguez also tied the single-game men's College World Series records with 7 runs batted in, 12 total bases. As far as Texas history, he finished 5 for 5, becoming the second Longhorn player with 5 hits in a College World Series game. The other, Jim Shamblin, who did it against Wake Forest back in 1949. So you got to go back a long way to see a performance like this. Adrian Rodriguez, you heard all 4 of the hits on that highlight montage. I think you heard 3 of the 4 in there, actually. For the Longhorns, it was part of a historic performance, the most runs Texas has scored in a College World Series game since 1992. Ruger Riojas played his part as well on the mound, 6 innings of 2-run ball, and that gives Texas a chance with every bullpen arm intact coming into tonight's game against the Georgia Bulldogs. Obviously, Dylan Volantis and Ruger Riojas, they'll be down and hoping to see their careers continue later on in Omaha. The Longhorns have been able to preserve the rest of their bullpen, and we'll dive into that a little bit more as the show goes along. So we've got plenty to get to on this busy Tuesday afternoon edition of the Craig Way Show. Cameron Parker joins us to talk a little Longhorn baseball and more coming up next here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and on the iHeart Radio app.
The road to Omaha runs through Texas. From Austin to the College World Series, Texas baseball chases championship glory.
Swung on and the ball hit well. Out to left. Say goodnight for a grand slam.
Listen to every pitch.
Strike three called right on the inside corner.
On 1300 The Zone.
Slam down the left field line. That's a walk-off. Longhorns win it.
Your home for the Horns. Hook 'em.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One,
is coming back to Las Vegas.
September 18th and 19th at T-Mobile Arena, streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu.
And you can be there
For a weekend full of superstar performances.
Are you ready?
Once-in-a-lifetime moments you'll have to see to believe.
We're getting this party going, huh?
Only limited single-night tickets remain. Get yours while you still can now at AXS.com. And we'll see you at our 2026 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One.
Before they can cheer your name, you've got to make one. At Spurs Sports Academy, we're helping young athletes do just that with year-round basketball camps and tournaments for kids of all ages. It's all part of our mission of inspiring lifelong memories and building character through competition. To find your way to play, text HOOPS to 210-444-5021 or head over to spurs.com/sportsacademy.
Meet a successful local CEO each week on CEOs You Should Know. This week, learn more about Michael Crowell, President and CEO of UFCU. Listen this weekend or visit our website to learn more.
Nate Bargatze.
It's a lot to have two dogs because you got to open the back door and let two dogs out.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. Moody Center. Saturday, June 20th. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com.
This July 4th, come celebrate at America's Block Party, hosted by America 250. America's Block Party is a can't-miss 4th of July concert happening at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum.
Experience music performances by major artists, patriotic tributes, and the kickoff to Giving Forth, helping to make July 4th the largest day of giving in American history.
It's more than just fireworks.
Join this landmark celebration and get your America's Block Party tickets now for $17.76 at america250.org/LA.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
Transform your home with fresh paint, just in time for America's 250th anniversary. Celebrate with CertaPro Painters and get $250 off projects of $2,500 or more. Schedule by July 10th and let freedom and fresh paint ring. We are more than just your local painters. From the first brushstroke to the final smile, our promise is simple. Your home beautifully painted and worry-free. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
If you're still using a sports book to bet on the soccer tournament, you're getting robbed. Delete that app and join the millions using Polymarket. Polymarket is a prediction market, not a sports book. You trade against other fans, not the house. Polymarket, your go-to prediction market for soccer's biggest stage, available in all 50 states. Download the Polymarket app, use promo code TACO to unload $50 free for your first trade. That's promo code TACO. Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trade. Restrictions and eligibility apply.
Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 30% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Now's your chance to win $2,500. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Travel. That's travel. Enter it now.
Longhorns football plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. It's the Craig Way Show with the voice of the Texas Longhorns and Hall of Fame broadcaster, Craig Way.
Knee-deep in hot water, broke out the coast where can't catch a turtle in this rat race. Feels like I'm losing time at a breakneck pace.
Like Stevie Ray Vaughan puts it, Texas walking the tightrope when it comes to their experience in Omaha. Here on a Texan Tuesday, Jake Herman filling in for Craig Way for the time being. And pleased to welcome Cameron Parker, our assistant program director, former producer of this show, here into the studio. And Cameron, we were listening to a large portion of that baseball game together yesterday. And look, the mood couldn't have been more different from what we saw on Saturday night for this Texas baseball team.
Yeah, no doubt. And I honestly thought, Jake, it began the first inning. My kind of thought process, my key for the beginning of the game was, can Texas weather the storm early? In more specifically, Ruger Riojas, who's been an excellent pitcher for Texas in his 2 years on the 40 acres. But, he's had issues throughout the season where the first inning can be a bit challenging for him. And sometimes he gets behind the eight ball and allows a couple early runs. And I thought it was huge for him yesterday, Jake, with Bama having a runner in scoring position early on in that opening inning for Ruger to get out of it. And I think that really gave him a lot of confidence. And again, going back to the game against Georgia on Saturday, that could have been 2-0, but it ended up being 4-0 with Texas kind of compounding their mistakes. And maybe it was just, the stage was a little bit too big for them on that Saturday. I thought they answered the bell yesterday. It looked like a completely different Texas team. Credit Coach Loschnagel and Max Weiner and Coach Slowitsky on being able to get the guys in a good mental headspace going into yesterday. I mean, the offense came alive. I mean, Adrian Rodriguez, what more can you say about him? I thought Anthony Pack responded well after having a tough go of it against Georgia and Joey Fulchko. I mean, who didn't have a tough go of it besides A-Rod and Ethan Mendoza? And how about Ethan Mendoza? He's not 100%. Neither is A-Rod, right? Maybe your two best hitters so far in Omaha are two guys who are playing maybe 75%. I mean, when Mendoza went out early against yesterday, I mean, we didn't think he would come back in. And sure enough, Ethan comes back in. He had 3 hits yesterday, which is incredible. And, of course, Adrian Rodriguez, just a third player in college World Series history to hit for the cycle. His 7 runs batted in, I believe, tied a program record for Texas. The Longhorns scored 14 runs.
Felt like 14 records.
I mean, they had 3 or 4 of them yesterday. So credit to Texas. And then also the key, especially when you lose that first game and you're going to have to win 4 straight, is can you save your bullpen, which is almost impossible to do. But, hey, yesterday, Schloss did not have to turn to any of his top guys. So Sam Cozart will come in the day healthy and fresh. Brett Crossland, and then Thomas Burns. I know Thomas has had ups and downs. I'm still high on him. I own a lot of property on Thomas Burns Islands. I think he can come in and get a crucial 3 outs if Texas needs it, whether that's today and hopefully tomorrow. So the key for the Longhorns yesterday, obviously get the victory, Jake, but the bats came alive. The offense has all the confidence in the world, and you didn't have to go to some of your best pitchers out of the bullpen. You got a huge 6 innings from Ruger Riojas. He did his job. Maybe the last time we see him in the Texas Longhorn uniform, and what a way to possibly go out. 6 innings. Only 6 hits allowed, but only 2 runs throughout the entire contest. So Texas did what they had to do. And, we discussed it offline. Would you rather have to play Georgia twice or Oklahoma twice? And we both agreed, I'd rather play Oklahoma twice and get a Georgia team that obviously they have the bats and they can heat up at any second. but I don't think Georgia has the bullpen or the pitching depth that Texas has as they enter Tuesday. So I feel pretty good about this matchup, but I think if you're a betting man, you like the Longhorns today just because of how the offense has looked yesterday, and also where they're at in terms of their pitching staff and the rest their bullpen has right now going into this do or die game.
Yeah, that's where I was headed now, because you get into a one-game season like we've talked about over the last couple of days as well. And I've got the bracket up for those that are with us on YouTube, X, and Facebook. Texas would need to beat Georgia and then beat Oklahoma twice. And you get to look at where these bullpens are. It's even Steven, right? Georgia, with Volchko and Aoki each going the distance in their 2 games, has its entire bullpen available. But Texas not only has Luke Harrison ready to go, they've got every high leverage arm lined up and ready to go. Hayden LeFew yet to throw in this College World Series. Brett Crossland good to go after 14 pitches on Saturday against Georgia. Same goes for Michael Winter, Brody Walls, Cody Howard, Ethan Walker, who have only been used in short stints. The question for Schloss, right, is what to do with Sam Cozart tonight. How much do you extend him? And hey, if the game's close, you just extend him however long you need to and figure out tomorrow.
Yeah, your goal here for Luke Harrison getting the start is how can you maximize his production today, but without going too far, right? You want to be able to try and keep your bullpen intact as much as possible if you do win the day, but at the same time, you got to win the day, right? You have to win. There is no tomorrow. There's no reason to save your arms if you're going to end up losing today's game. So can you get 3 or 4 innings out of Luke Harrison? Maybe a little bit more, wishful thinking perhaps.
But I hope we can get more.
If you do that, and then you're able to bring in Cozart or Crossland or Burns, whoever, and kind of close the door, that'll be key for Texas here.
So how about what Oklahoma's done now, Cameron? A team that has really made the College World Series on the strength of its pitching. Now, all of a sudden, you get to Omaha. Yes, holding Georgia to 3 runs, quite the feat yesterday for this OU pitching staff. But the way that they've been able to come alive from a power perspective, right? Almost a quarter of their home runs this season have come in the postseason. This is a really hot team right now, and I don't think it's really been talked about quite enough in that they've really become a completely different team than the one who made it to Omaha to begin with.
And, we see this not just in college baseball, Jake, but also Major League Baseball, right? It's why up until what the Dodgers won it last year, it felt like those 1-2 seeds, heading in the playoffs kind of almost were at a disadvantage. And the teams coming in playing early in the wild card and kind of getting that rhythm. And for some reason, just, you would think 2-3 days rest would benefit some batters, but it always seems to be the opposite in Major League Baseball. Here we are with the Oklahoma team, won 12 less games than Georgia did this regular season, did not earn a top 16 national seed. And here they are now, just 1 win away from reaching the College World Series finals. I mean, credit Skip Johnson in the job he's done. I thought Mercurius was just fantastic yesterday in kind of limiting that explosive Georgia lineup. The Bulldogs team, Jackson, obviously, he's up for three national recognition awards this season, maybe the best hitter in all of college baseball, nearly batting 400 this year. He had that moonshot yesterday to make it a 1-run game, but Oklahoma did what Texas wasn't able to do on Saturday, and that was kind of quiet the offense. But again, Texas with just a couple mistakes in that game, maybe 7-1, could just have been 3-1 or possibly 4-1. How did that affect the team psyche in that first inning with those 2 errors, right? We don't know. But, Texas was able to respond. But, credit an Oklahoma team here, just 1 win away from the College World Series. And I know Texas fans hoping to get at least 2 more chances against the Sooners this week.
How impressive of a feat was it for Mercurius and Oklahoma? I have this stat on Saturday night previewing Texas and Georgia on Longhorns game day. Georgia was 36-0 this season, holding its opponents to 5 or fewer runs. That streak broken by the Sooners last night. So we'll hear from some of those involved with Longhorn baseball coming up a little later in the show. After this, we'll talk a little college football in the middle of June and then get to our U.S. Open golf preview. You're listening to The Craig Way Show on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
America's turning 250, and iHeartRadio is celebrating with $250,000 in cash. Weekdays through July 4th, listen for your chance to win $2,500 so you can take the ultimate American getaway. Take that road trip of all the Insta-worthy spots across the country, from bucket list to booked. Wow. Win your share of $250,000. Celebrating 250 years of America with iHeartRadio.
The College World Series is going on in Omaha, Nebraska. We're coming up on the U.S. Open Golf Championship and plenty of other great things going on right now. Are you happy with how your entertainment system is presenting all of this to you? Well, if you're not, why not give my friend Tom McKay a call at Audio Visual Consultations? You've heard me tell you what experts Tom and his staff are when it comes to home entertainment, but AV Consultations has expanded to become dealers and custom installers of Foresight golf simulators. If you're wanting to improve your golf game, AV can get you hooked up with a Foresight simulator that can do the trick. AV Consultations now also offers full home and landscape lighting and automated lighting control. Why not give Tom McKay and his staff a call today? They're in Round Rock. The number is 512-255-8678. That's 512-255-8678, or you can find them on the web at avconsultations.com. Let Tom McKay and Audiovisual Consultations help you realize the home entertainment system of your dreams.
Drivers, Fair.coop is coming soon to your city. Earn up to 90% on every ride. Even with no surge pricing for riders, you can still make more than driving with surge on other apps. Refer riders, refer drivers. Earn 25% of net profits from referrals. Help drivers own the driverless future. Join Fair.coop, the world's safest ride. Fair.coop, official partner of iHeartRadio. Download the app now at fair.coop/iHeart. That's FARE.coop/iHeart.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. The sound of a seatbelt. It's one of the most important sounds in our car. It means everyone is ready and everyone is safe. The more our kids see us put on our seatbelts, the more natural it is for them to put theirs on too. Make it a priority. Buckle up every time. Hear the sound? Make it a habit.
Paid for by NHTSA.
Stay connected to Texas athletics and the 40 acres with the LHN app. Watch original content, behind-the-scenes access, interviews, press conferences, highlights, classic Longhorn moments, and select live events. It's your home for Texas athletics content all year long. And with new stories and features dropping all the time, there's always something new to discover. Best of all, the LHN app is free to download and watch. Download the LHN app today and take Texas athletics with you wherever you go. Hook 'em.
This is the truck deal you've been waiting for, and Covert Chevy in Hutto is making it happen. 0% financing for 5 years on every 2026 Silverado 1500, and you won't make the first payment for 90 days. We're talking hundreds of options to choose from, with more rolling in every single day. Don't pay monthly interest on your old truck or car when you can save right now. 0% deals like this don't stick around, so come and see us at Highway 79 or head to coverthutto.com. Covert Chevy Hutto. Together, let's drive. For qualified buyers, see dealer for details.
Joy is essential and it's also elusive. But now there's a new and exciting way to start your journey toward a more joyful existence. Joy 101. It's a new podcast hosted by me, Hoda Kotb. If you're craving inspiration to maximize your joy, tune into these candid, uplifting, and moving on-air chats. Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Joy 101, and listen now. Joy 101 with Hoda Kotb is presented by CVS.
iHeartRadio FIFA World Cup Update.
As the U.S. prepares for its next match, midfielder Tyler Adams says they're getting bonding time off the field.
Whether it's watching the World Cup game, whether it's watching Stanley Cup, whether it's watching NBA Finals, it's a great moment for sports right now, just in general. It's a great moment for our team just to be able to spend time with each other,
The U.S. meets Australia Friday. Meanwhile, Lionel Messi and Argentina will start their repeat quest tonight against Algeria.
For live Fox coverage, search World Cup now on the free iHeart Radio app.
It's the morning kickoff show with Mike Hart, Paul Harch, and Mark Henry. Weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. Only on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone. Welcome back to the Craig Way Show and the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way. Follow Craig on social media at Horn Voice.
Texan Tuesday, Jake Herman, Cameron Parker, with you here just past the bottom of the 2 o'clock hour, with you up until 5 on this Tuesday afternoon. Again, Longhorn baseball, 6:45 pregame start time, 7 o'clock first pitch. Tonight, that's over on 103.1 FM, Austin's 80s station. We've got some news out of Texas to get to. First, we've talked a lot on this program about the Brendan Sorsby saga at Texas Tech, from the preliminary injunction and Texas Tech's sort of nightmarish defense of the situation over a confusing ruling granting him eligibility despite admitting to placing over $90,000 worth of bets, some of which as a member of the Indiana football team back when he was a freshman. Now, Sorsby has mutually agreed, quote unquote, to part ways with Texas Tech. And Pete Thamel reporting today that his lawyers are going to withdraw that court filing in Texas, which granted him the injunction to play, the temporary injunction. And once that's formalized, Sorsby's going to head to the NFL supplemental draft, something we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge win, I think, for college football. Jake, we know the state of the game right now, it's almost dead. The college football that we grew up watching doesn't exist anymore, and that's okay. You know, these players deserve to be paid. But with this, you know, there's been some negative consequences that has come from NIL. And that includes, you know, college basketball players who have been drafted, who have spent time in the G League, who are professional, able to come back and play college basketball. And then we have the side of gambling in sports. You know, what you do with your money, that's your decision here. But you can't get away from the hypocrisy of these stadiums and these athletes and these commercials, all advertising gambling, Kalshi, Polymarket, DraftKings, whatever. And then you're telling these same, you know, these athletes, okay, you can't gamble though. You can't gamble. This is happening. It's going to keep happening. Brendan Sorsby will not be the last athlete to be caught gambling, right?
Maybe not the last athlete this month.
No kidding. I mean, we still haven't figured out what's going on with Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups, right? That's still under investigation by the feds. But then we have Texas Tech here. And first off, you know, credit Cody Campbell and Texas Tech for being able to stay relevant and really take I don't mean that as you know, to take a shot at them. I'm just saying, considering they're not in the SEC, they're not in the Big Ten, it's hard for schools like that to be able to stay in the same level of relevance as like the Texases, the Alabamas, Ohio State. You're in a different conference, right? You play a different schedule, but they have really capitalized on NIL and players being able to get paid, and have done a good job. You know, obviously with softball, with Texas Tech going, you know, back-to-back national championship. They have a great basketball program, and their football program, you know, obviously reaching the college football playoff this past season. But then you had this situation with Sorsby, Jake, and they tripled down, gave everybody the finger. You know, they, instead of, you know, parting ways with Sorsby, which they probably should have done, and if they knew about it before signing him and knew this was coming to the public, they should have parted ways with him immediately, right? But instead, they try and fight this, right? And along the way, Jake, I think they have really hurt themselves. You get sued by your own conference, right? You know, in the next 5 years, who knows what the SEC, the Big Ten looks like, right? You know, we're heading towards a mega conference with different oversight, you know, a different college football playoff, different commissioner. And you have Texas Tech here getting sued by your own conference, you know, really isolating yourself from your commissioner, the other ADs, they've made a lot of enemies during this whole process, right? Enemies you don't want to make. We're heading to a point in college sports where everyone's going to be jockeying for position, right? Because once we get away from the NCAA, and let me tell you, folks, it's going to happen.
It's a when, not if for you.
There's going to be some sort of mega conference for football. And Texas Tech here, obviously you give Sorsby, $5 million to come here, but now you're fighting your partners in your own conference. You're fighting your commissioner. You're getting into a legal battle here with injunctions. You get Ken Paxton involved. They're isolating themselves, Jake, and they're making more enemies for themselves here. And I think they missed the ball on this. This is a situation they could have avoided here. And, I don't know if Cody Campbell and Tech thought they could buy their way out of this or they could fight this and come to some resolution. But credit the Big 12, credit the country for fighting back on this. This is a huge win for college football and obviously a catastrophic loss for Texas Tech.
And Sorsby, right, had he played at Texas Tech this season, the level of vitriol towards that program and towards him specifically would have been probably out of control, if we're being honest, and probably justified, if we're being
100%.
honest. So I think you're right. College football is the winner in this. The interesting thing, you're right, what kind of relationships, what kind of social capital, if they even care about that sort of thing, did Texas Tech use up and light on fire in this whole self-inflicted wound that happened over the last week or so? It's a good point you bring up about what the sport looks like a few years from now.
And also, I don't think Sorsby got the $5 million up front. I'm sure there's probably a payment plan for that, but they probably lost. You would think 7 figures at least on this, not to mention the lawyer fees and everything they put towards that. And now you go into you've already gone through spring ball, Jake. You're getting close to summer workouts. Texas Tech, they don't really have a quarterback, right? Herman coming off a torn ACL, shout out the former Huddle Hippo, but he likely
called his games in high school.
He likely won't be ready for week 1, 2, or 3, considering that injury. You definitely don't want to rush him back from that. And when he does come back,
good thing they didn't schedule anybody week 1 or 2.
Yeah, good thing, exactly, right? He won't be 100%. So you have that situation there, and obviously, you don't plan on your starting quarterback being injured. But again, it goes back to if they knew what Sorsby was involved in, and it's hard for me to believe they did not know. And again, they tripled down on this. This is going to impact your football season now, right? Because you go from possibly, a contender to win the Big 12, and maybe they still go on and win the conference, but it's hard to do so when the quarterback you spent $5 million on will not be there. Herman will not be ready for the beginning part of the season. So then who are you left to start with? Texas Tech has completely dug their own grave on this, and I don't think anyone at all feels bad for what they have put themselves into.
You know who definitely doesn't feel bad? Steve Sarkisian. We'll segue that there into his comments about Arch Manning and a potential 2027 return when he was on Kay Adams' podcast, Up and Adams, yesterday. Take a listen.
With Arch, do you know what's happening? Has the conversation happened as far as 2027 and beyond? Are we waiting? I guess the question is, how surprised would you be if you wanted to stay?
We haven't had the discussion. But I will tell you,
in that room too.
I will tell you, I would not be surprised. I think Arch really loves college football. I really do. I think he loves the University of Texas. He does pretty good through NIL. He's got some pretty good endorsements going right now, which is a credit to him and obviously the lineage of the last name and the brand of the University of Texas. All those things coming together. But again, on the same token, I won't be surprised if he declares and decides to go to the draft. But I think some of that is dependent upon, how we play as a team this fall, how he plays individually, knock on wood, injury-free football, things like that. But again, that's not our focus. Our focus is on getting ready for the season, getting ready for Texas State in week 1, and then Ohio State, then UTSA, then Tennessee, so on and so forth. So we haven't really had any dialogue about it, but to your point, I wouldn't be surprised. He loves college, and again, he's got some pretty good NIL stuff going for himself right now.
Cameron, I'm sure the Texas fan base is going to react rationally to all of this.
Well, everyone's, obviously they know the Manning story very well, right? Obviously we know what Eli Manning did forcing that trade to New York from San Diego. No one would be surprised, I think, in Austin if Arch Manning does come back for another year. Now, a lot depends on, as Sark just said there, what kind of year does Arch Manning have? Because if he stays healthy and he plays well and Texas makes a deep run, I think there's a good chance Arch Manning could solidify himself as the number 1 overall draft pick. It'll be between him and Dante Moore for Morgan. And we've seen the last couple of years where a quarterback might go in as the probative favorite to be the number 1 draft pick, has a terrible year, maybe gets injuries. I'm thinking about Garrett Nussmeier and LSU, and all of a sudden you go from being a first-round draft pick to falling down the board.
And Lenore Sellers.
Lenore Sellers, who's back in college football. Now, for Arch here, if he goes out and balls out, but at the same time, his family, sees, okay, who has the number 1 overall draft pick? Maybe it's a franchise that they don't think too much of, right? Would not be surprised. I don't think anyone would be surprised if the family decides, hey, you know what? Arch can come back for another year at Texas. He's going to be compensated a fair amount, no doubt. And it's not, I don't think the Mannings are hurting that much for financial reasons. I would not be surprised. At the same time, though, Jake, if Arch Manning is going to be the number 1 draft pick next year, that probably means Texas had a deep run in the playoff, right? And Arch Manning had a Heisman type of year. So, I think it could be a win-win for Texas. At the same time, there's some darn good quarterbacks in that quarterback room, not named Arch Manning, who will be coming in. KJ Lacey, Dia Bell. So the future is bright at that position. Now, will the rest of the country react rationally to what Sark is saying about Arch Manning? Probably not. But at the same time, it's a family that has no problems with pulling strings. And again, will probably use that to their advantage, especially if they don't like how the NFL draft board looks in 2027.
Sark never pulls punches either. He ended his podcast appearance with another shot at Joey McGuire and Texas Tech, saying, hey, at this rate, we could see Patrick Mahomes back on the field for Joey next year. So, again, easy to get carried away no matter what side you stand on. That's what the offseason in college football is for. But coming up next, we'll talk U.S. Open golf at Shinnecock Hills, where Scottie Scheffler looks for his career Grand Slam. You're listening on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeart Radio app.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. What are your rights and responsibilities? Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis.
Twin Peaks is unmatched for every match. With 29-degree draft Michelob Ultras, handcrafted Casamigo margaritas, and a scratch-made menu, and screens that will put you on the front row of every game. It's all going down at the Lodge. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views.
This summer's must-have accessory, it's the Simon Plus Rewards program, where you can access exclusive offers for shopping, dining, and having fun at Simon malls, mills, and premium outlets. Plus, you can get points and rewards for shopping at shopsimon.com too. It's free to join, and there are even more exciting perks to enjoy every time you shop. Sign up at simonplus.com today and get ready to summer in style. Rewards program terms apply. See simonplus.com for details.
Nate Bargatze.
It's a lot to have two dogs because you got to open the back door and let two dogs out.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. Moody Center. Saturday, June 20th. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com.
Delivering more is just how we do business at Group 1 Ford of South Austin. Get more selection with our huge inventory of brand new Fords and quality pre-owned rides. More value with bigger deals and more confidence with our Austin family that's been serving Central Texas drivers for over 2 decades. Whether you're hauling gear to Zilker Park or commuting down Mopac, you get more with the team that knows Ford best. Group 1 Ford of South Austin, home of transparent pricing and no dealer add-ons. Visit us on South I-35 or online at Group1Ford of SouthAustin.com.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Keep your career moving forward with growth opportunities, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces. Go to careers.progressive.com and apply today. That's careers.progressive.com.
DraftKings Sports is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, Texas. The whole world is watching one tournament right now. Group stage chaos, knockout drama, stoppage time heartbreak. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in Texas. So whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or the late match at the bar, you're in on every minute, every match, every moment, all in one app. Right here in Texas, the world's biggest stage is in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers sign up with code AM1300. Spend $5 to get $200 in total rewards. That's code AM1300. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issue in non-withdrawable prediction dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends June 28th. Terms at dkng.co/predictions promo.
Coach Sark here. Back to the Craig Way Show on your home for the Longhorns, 1300 The Zone.
Back here on the Zone for a preview of another golf major, the third of the year, the U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills, back for the first time since 2018. And 2 days from now, you'll hear the NBC crew, Dan Hicks and co., talking over this theme called In Celebration of Man. Last time the U.S. Open was at Shinnecock, Brooks Koepka took home the win. It was his second U.S. Open in a row at that point, right? Back in 2018. And I want to start with the course because I've seen some interesting dialogue around this, wanting to make the course the hero, not the villain this time around. That means wider fairways, means maybe a setup that's a little friendlier to the players. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, so you mentioned, this last time Shinnecock hosted the U.S. Open was 2018. Now, this course was redesigned by the Core and Crenshaw firm, Ben Crenshaw, of course, Longhorn legend. And when they came in, they widened the fairway width of this golf course. The fairways, on average, were about 48 yards, right? That's pretty wide. Right before the 2018 U.S. Open, the USGA kind of freaked out, panicked, and decided to basically shorten the fairways from 48 yards to 41 yards. They thought the fairways were too wide. They were getting some pushback on it. And the course was still great in 2018. They got close to losing. And of course, you had the Phil Mickelson, infamously, the double putt, taking the 2-stroke penalty on that Saturday when conditions were crazy. But this year, the USGA finally is letting the course play true to the renovation from Core and Crenshaw, who, by the way, they know what they're doing. They've designed some fantastic golf courses and some golf courses that have hosted some fantastic major champions. So for that, I'm super excited. I think this is the major championship I'm most excited about this season. It's going to be a great test of your total golf game. A lot of times with, major championships now, Jake, we get to a point where, we see the rough elevated to a ridiculous level. And that's because a lot of these golf courses just, they are not up to the test of the modern game. And so like Oakmont last year, right? If you miss the fairway, for the most part, you're dead, right? And the green complex is not too difficult. If you're able to get the ball on the green, you have a good chance, of making, at least trying to save par. Sometimes even make birdie. Here at Shinnecock, if you miss the fairway, you are completely dead. But if you hit the ball in the center of the fairway, you're not going to. There's no 100% chance that you're going to end up making birdie or making par. You still got to be able to hit a good second golf shot.
Right.
And we don't see that all the time in U.S. Opens. I'm thinking back to Oakmont this last year. Big greens. If you find the fairway, good chance, just aim for the center of the green, you'll be okay. Wing foot, bomb it down there. Even if you're in the rough, you're going to have a wedge into a fairly simple green complex. Here at Shinnecock, that's not the case. And what I like about this golf course, and I think we'll see throughout the week, is even if you find the fairway, kind of like Augusta, if you don't have yourself in the right position in the fairway, you may have a second shot where you have no chance of having a good look for birdie. Where on the other hand, if you're on the right side of the fairway in the right location, you're going to have a great angle for attack. And also on the greens here, it's not a bunch of rough like Aronimink, the PGA, where it's just high rough around the greens and you're just kind of stabbing at the ball and trying to get it on the green. The rough or around the greens here, if you miss the green, it's short grass. So we're going to have to see a lot of players you use the short game, which just like Augusta. So I'm excited for that. It's going to test all aspects of everyone's game. The wind's going to be up to gusting up to 40 miles per hour on Thursday, 30 miles per hour throughout the weekend. So it's going to be absolutely diabolical this week.
You're not the first person I've heard compare this course to Augusta National with the importance of that second shot. And back in the spring, when we were talking Augusta National, and then even more recently in our PGA Championship preview, you had circled Scottie Scheffler as your pick to win this tournament and complete his career slam, now becoming the 7th player to do so if he can achieve it. So are you sticking with that pick here on June 16th?
Yeah, he's been my pick all year long. And, I think people, I don't know, they're asking what's wrong with Scottie Scheffler, but they're definitely,
nothing to me.
Definitely maybe off the train a little bit, off the Rory and Scottie train, because he hasn't won lately, right? We're so used to Scottie, either winning every week or winning the big tournaments, and he hasn't won since the Amex earlier this season.
11 starts now without a win, top 25 in all 11.
And there you go. So his worst finish, dating back to his one at the Amex is T24. He had a string. He had, 4 top 5s in his last 6 finishes, a T3 at the Phoenix Open, a T4 at Pebble Beach, a T14 at the PGA, but a runner-up finish at the Masters, right? Runner-up to Rory McIlroy. This is a golf course where, it's going to favor not the longer hitters, Jake, but more of the accurate hitters. And, off the tee, Scottie Scheffler has been excellent, going back to this season, right? Maybe his iron play hasn't been up to the same standard, but he's still gaining shots on the field with his irons. He's still gaining shots off the tee. He's still gaining shots around the green, and he's still gaining shots with his putter. He's still statistically having a fantastic season. He just hasn't ended up in the winner's circle. Does not mean I think that Scottie's not able or capable of winning this week. So Scottie, I've been picking him all year long. I will stick with that. But having said that, at the same time, if you look at the last U.S. Opens, you go back to 2019. You look at the winners, Jake, Gary Woodland, Bryson, John Rahm, Matt Fitzpatrick, Wyndham Clark, and then last season, J.J. Spaun. What do they all have in common? It was their first major championship victory. Only Bryson at Pinehurst in 2024. That was obviously his second U.S. Open victory. He's the outlier going back to 2019. Brooks Koepka, the last time, he won back-to-back U.S. Opens in 2018. But since 2019, this has been a major championship, Jake, where we've seen some first-time winners. So along the theme of that, if you're looking for a dark horse, there's two guys who I love this week too. Cameron Young.
I knew that was coming.
From New York, just down the road from Farmingdale, New York, where Shinnecock is hosting. He was my pick to win the PGA. Had the flu that week in Aronimink. Still played fairly well. I think he ended up finishing in the top 25, maybe a little bit lower. He's healthy. I think he's going to have a great week. And another guy who was in the final pairing last year at Oakmont, didn't have the Sunday round, but someone who's also searching for his first major championship, who's in great form right now, Sam Burns. So those are two guys I'm watching for this week. But, of course, I think everybody's pulling for Scottie Scheffler to notch the career Grand Slam.
I was at Congress years ago. My only major golf tournament, my only PGA event. I guess not a PGA event. You know what I mean? My only live
It was
golf.
basically a PGA tournament. It was a glorified PGA tournament.
Well, is that because Rory McIlroy set the scoring record? You're just going to go ahead and poo-poo it?
Yeah, I mean, look at the weather, congressional. That might be a half major. That's up for debate.
I'm excited to see it back on the calendar. It will be, I think, a PGA championship coming up towards the back end of this decade. But you heard it here. Cameron's picking Scottie Scheffler in the U.S. Open starting Thursday at Shinnecock Hills in New York. Hopefully we don't see the course rage bait its players quite as much as it did 8 years ago.
Hey, it makes for great content, makes for great conversation. Love hearing some of these golfers get upset. If we have another Zach Johnson, Phil Mickelson, we've lost the course this week, I'm all for
it. Maybe the course becomes the villain after all. Hey, Cameron, thanks for stopping by. We'll talk during the tournament. Hour number 2 of the Craig Way Show coming up next here on 1300 The Zone.
Since 1936, Shipley Donuts has been a Texas tradition, and now Dripping Springs wakes up with them. Start your mornings right with fresh baked donuts, soft warm kolaches, and hot coffee made fresh daily at Shipley Donuts, located at 13341 West Highway 290 in Dripping Springs. They're open bright and early at 5 a.m. because at Shipley's, donuts don't just taste good, they make people happy. Skip the line and order ahead at shipleydonuts.com or on the Shipley's app. Start happy, stay happy.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay. Are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-616-1997. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-616-1997. That's 800-616-1997. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
iHeart's Yacht Rock Radio goes commercial-free every weekend. Smooth sailing with the greatest from the 70s and 80s. Just open the free iHeart app, search Yacht Rock, and start listening now.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. But most people don't know they are infected. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you can still have hepatitis C, a serious liver disease that often has no symptoms. In fact, people can live with hepatitis C for decades without feeling or looking sick. But over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems, including liver damage, liver failure, or even liver cancer. Getting tested is the only way to know if you're infected with hepatitis C. That's why the CDC recommends everyone born from 1945 to 1965 get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments are available that can cure this disease. So talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KDET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeart Radio app. He's a Texas legend, a Hall of Fame broadcaster, the voice of the Texas Longhorns, and your host of the Craig Way Show. Here he is now, Craig Way.
Our second hour of the show on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Jake Herman here holding the fort down while Craig makes his way over to Charles Schwab Field in Omaha. He'll join us to host the 4 o'clock hour on today's program. We always invite your texts on our text line. That's 81530, followed by your question or comment. Text the word Texas and then your question and put them in the same text. Sometimes we just see texts come in that say Texas. Makes me wonder if somebody's typing their question in a separate text. You want the word Texas and then your question at 81530. Standard message and data rates may apply. We're going to hear from some Longhorn baseball players in this segment again tonight. 6:45 pregame start time, 7 o'clock first pitch on 103.1 FM, Austin's 80s station. You can also listen for free on the iHeart Radio app to the Longhorns and the Georgia Bulldogs. Texas trying to fare much better offensively than they did on Saturday night when Joey Volchko, the ace of the pitching staff for the Georgia Bulldogs, shut Texas down to the tune of a complete game, 15 strikeouts in that one. And Texas might not get the same level of production they got against Alabama, a program World Series record-setting 14 runs in the ballgame, but it's going to have to be a little bit better, like we told you when Cameron Parker was on. And thanks, by the way, to Cameron for stopping by for that 2 o'clock hour of today's show, talking a number of topics. And we'll revisit a bunch of those, including Steve Sarkisian's comments on Kay Adams' podcast about Arch Manning, Brendan Sorsby's situation as he heads to the NFL's supplemental draft. We'll revisit all of those here during this 3 o'clock hour. But as we were saying, the Longhorns talking with the press after yesterday's win over Alabama, and Adrian Rodriguez, who hit for the cycle and has hit over 500 since the postseason started, getting healthier and healthier after that hand surgery. What was his approach in yesterday's game, and what has he done to it to achieve this postseason success?
I've made some swing changes with Tulo, probably when the Tennessee series. So it's through the back stretches with like dealing with my hand. I've got to get more simple and just keeping my head in the same position, just not being able to see the ball better. It's been a big factor.
That's almost on Texas Longhorn baseball bingo at this point. Making swing adjustments with Troy Tulowitzki, helping these experienced hitters like Rodriguez unlock the most out of their swing, maximize their potential. It's a huge, huge impact for this Texas team. You hear the pitchers talk about it with Max Wiener, the assistant that works with the pitchers there as well. So there was an interesting wrinkle to this Rodriguez cycle because his second at bat, featuring the RBI triple to left center field that drove in 2 runs, was originally scored a double, and then they wrote Rodriguez advanced to third. That didn't make a whole lot of sense. It was then changed to a single and an error. But neither outfielder touched the ball. Sure, there was some hesitation as they both thought the other would maybe come in and get it. The center and left fielders for the Crimson Tide might have collided on the play, Bryce Fowler and Eric Hines, had they not communicated. Instead, what happened was the ball dropped in between them, rolled through the gap. Usually when a fielder doesn't touch the ball, the scoring is in the hitter's favor in that this is a clean triple. And it was changed to that late in the ballgame. So Adrian Rodriguez sort of found out late that he had hit for the cycle, and he was asked for his reaction in that moment.
No, yeah, Ruger came up to me later in the game and told me that they took the error off the board. So it was kind of surreal because I remember SEMO doing it with Tennessee when I was in high school, and it's kind of crazy that that's all coming back when we're here. So it's just a crazy moment.
SEMO refers to Christian Moore, who is one of the 3 now players to accomplish the feat in Omaha of hitting for the cycle. How about A-Rod asked about what this moment meant after everything he's gone through with the injury absence this season?
No, yeah, it's definitely been up and down throughout the season. So I really owe it to all the guys that's been having my back throughout the whole year, and especially all the coaches that have had my back when I haven't been right mentally. So it's been a grind, but I'm happy that we're doing it right now in the College World Series.
Finally, A-Rod asked to walk through the at-bat, which was a big one in the 6th inning, effectively putting the game out of reach. A 2-run homer off of Alabama reliever Matthew Heiberger, who had pitched pretty well to that point in the game, with Callum Early aboard, and I believe there were 2 outs in the inning, one of several runs that the Longhorns scored. 8 of their 14 came with 2 outs. He was asked to walk through that 6th inning at-bat in which he took the 7th pitch out of the park.
Yeah, so I knew he was a big, heavy fastball guy, so that's what I was just sitting on the whole at-bat, and I got the head out on the ball that was inside. He was kind of working me away the whole at-bat. I was just fighting off pitches, and then that 3-2 pitch, I was just kind of thinking in my head, he has to go with the fastball here because that's just what he does, and I just got beat the head to it.
And he sent it out of the ballpark as a result. So Adrian Rodriguez at the podium there discussing what went right, which was a whole heck of a lot. Really, the entire lineup, hitters 1 through 4, completely turned things around. After going a combined 0 for 15 against Georgia on Saturday, they combined 7 for 10. Rodriguez having 5 of those hits in the game yesterday. Another bat who really rose to the occasion was the guy who hits a little higher in the order, Ethan Mendoza, who is up at the number 4. And by the way, I misspoke there. Rodriguez obviously hitting a little lower in the order, but it was those guys at the top who helped set the table. Robbins, Tinney, and Pack combining in this game to score 8 runs. So a big impact made by those 3. Ethan Mendoza hitting out of the cleanup spot, 3 for 4 with 2 runs batted in, 2 runs scored, fighting through a shoulder injury that he picked up mid-game on one of his swings. At one point, like Cameron and I discussed, he looked like he wasn't going to be able to continue in the ball game. So he was asked what it's taken mentally to be able to play through injury and have such success in a gotta-have-it game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm having a blast. We're winning. Playing in the College World Series doesn't get much better than that. With me, I'm just trying to take care of myself, whatever I need to do. The training staff has helped me. Obviously, he's helped A-Rod just come back healthier. Coach Couch, Sammy, all of them, Sam included. They've done a great job with us, and we're very well prepared for what lies ahead.
Part of the preparation came in the conversations that the Texas players and staff had amongst themselves before the game, knowing the stakes, and Mendoza asked about those.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another ball game. We got to go out and play our game. Don't need to do anything extra. We know what circumstances we're in right now, but we're just going to go out and do our thing. We don't need to put extra pressure on ourselves, and I feel like we did that today.
Ruger Riojas asked a similar question about what he worked with on his mindset and in the locker room as he took the ball in a must-win game, knowing it could be win or lose the final time he pitches in a Texas uniform. And boy, did he make the most of it over those 6 innings of work. Riojas, 7 strikeouts, threw 105 pitches, gave up 2 runs on 6 hits. Here's his thoughts on what the mindset was like before the game and what the conversations were like with his teammates.
We understood what was at stake. This could be it. I mean, for me, this could be it as a Texas Longhorn. But, we play the game how we do. It's just, it's a standard, not a scoreboard, and we can't let anything get over ourselves or over our heads, such as the result or, the outcome of what could be. And I think we were just very present today. And Max always has this saying of most present teams win, or gratitude lives in the present, the most present team wins. So you just got to live by that.
Another one of those sayings that has an impact. That's from assistant coach, the pitching coach, Max Weiner. We'll hear from the head coach, Jim Schlossnagle, coming up a little bit more in the next segment. But for now, we got to take a break. You're listening to The Craig Way Show on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and on the iHeart Radio app, where if you're listening to us, you can tap the red microphone and leave us a talkback message of up to 30 seconds. If you're not with us on the app, it's completely free, and it might be the best way to listen to the show. You can search AM 1300 The Zone, save us as a preset, and then leave us a talkback message of up to 30 seconds if you want your voice heard, your questions answered on the air. And for a lot of you wondering where the game is tonight, we'll continue to remind you it's over on 103.1 FM, Austin's 80 station, pregame coverage starting at 6:45. We're back in a moment here on 1300 The Zone.
Get ready to cheer on your Round Rock Express right here on 1300 The Zone. From the first pitch to the final out, Round Rock Express baseball, only on 1300 The Zone.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One,
He's coming back to Las Vegas.
September 18th and 19th at T-Mobile Arena, streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu.
And you can be there
For a weekend full of superstar performances.
Are you ready?
Once-in-a-lifetime moments you'll have to see to believe.
We're getting this party going, huh?
Only limited single-night tickets remain. Get yours while you still can now at AXS.com. And we'll see you at our 2026 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Clean out your closet, donate your clothes, and earn rewards with Trashy. Send your clothes somewhere better and get cash back on every bag. Get unlimited take-back bags all year for just $48. Trashy. Clean out, donate, earn.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
It's a celebration 250 years in the making.
And we want everyone in America, from Maine to Montana, from Alabama to Alaska, to be a part of it.
This year marks America's 250th anniversary, and we're coming together from coast to coast at Star-Spangled events, live performances, and the largest day of giving in American history.
Join the nationwide celebration at America250.org.
Before they can cheer your name, you've got to make one. At Spurs Sports Academy, we're helping young athletes do just that with year-round basketball camps and tournaments for kids of all ages. It's all part of our mission of inspiring lifelong memories and building character through competition. To find your way to play, text HOOPS to 210-444-5021 or head over to spurs.com/sportsacademy.
Wow.
I love a girls' weekend, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin, thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
You can usually find me in the kitchen, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm still in the mix with Skyrizi to treat my joint symptoms.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin when measured from head to toe at 4 months.
Or if you're an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Nate Bargatze.
It's a lot to have two dogs because you got to open the back door and let two dogs out.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour, Moody Center, Saturday, June 20th. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com.
Transform your home with fresh paint, just in time for America's 250th anniversary. Celebrate with CertaPro Painters and get $250 off projects of $2,500 or more. Schedule by July 10th and let freedom and fresh paint ring. We are more than just your local painters. From the first brushstroke to the final smile, our promise is simple. Your home beautifully painted and worry-free. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Real fans have plates. The best way to show the colors of your favorite team on the highways and byways of Texas is with a MyPlates personalized plate. Create your custom plate today at MyPlates.com.
Coach Sark here. Back to the Craig Way Show on your home for the Longhorns, 1300 The Zone.
Shotgun Willie sits around in his underwear, biting on a bullet, pulling out all of his hair. A Shotgun Willie's got all of his family there. Well, you can't make a record if you ain't got nothing to say. You can't make a record if you ain't got nothing to say. You can't play music if you don't know nothing to play. A Shotgun Willie sits around in his underwear.
Love this for the iconic Willie Nelson, bringing us back, as we always hear from in the 3 o'clock hour during a Texan Tuesday. For the Longhorns, I hope it's a winning Tuesday. Taking on the Georgia Bulldogs tonight at 7 o'clock. Winner moves on to face Oklahoma and would have to win twice to make the College World Series championship. On the other side of the bracket, it is North Carolina in that Oklahoma spot of having already started 2-0 and needing only one more victory to move on. In Omaha currently, West Virginia and Troy are fighting for the right to take on the North Carolina Tar Heels, and it is West Virginia on top 5-0. It was 2-0 since the third, and then Gavin Kelly, a 3-run homer during that last commercial break, breaking it open a little bit and putting the West Virginia Mountaineers on top 5-0 over Troy. So we'll see if the Cinderella Trojans out of the Sun Belt have any kind of a kick left to make this a little bit closer. West Virginia with runners on base as we speak, trying to pile on and punch their ticket in the regional final, I guess, the final of bracket number 1. Longhorns are in bracket 2, still needing 3 wins. They would need to beat Georgia and then, like I said, Oklahoma twice in order to move on. Jim Schlossnagle, in reflecting on yesterday's victory, opened up his media availability with this.
First of all, congratulations to University of Alabama on an awesome season. Big fan of Coach Vaughn and what he's done with the program in their great year. Super fired up about our win. Obviously, thought Ruger did a nice job working around some deep counts and a little bit of traffic, and then obviously the 2 out hitting. We got some ball bounced our way in the first inning on those balls down the line, and then I think we scored 8 runs with 2 outs. Is that what it was? Maybe over the course of the game, and then obviously Adrian was awesome, and so happy for him considering all the things he's been through this year. So fired up to be able to continue to play.
So the question and answer portion, starting with Jim Schlossnagle addressing Ruger Riojas' performance, not only what the Longhorns got from Ruger on the mound, but how nice it was for him to be able to turn to such an experienced player in a gotta-have-it situation. The good news about this is Texas can turn to somebody equally experienced tonight in Luke Harrison, but here's Schloss on Riojas.
Yeah, I mean, we knew we had a chance to have a decent season, at the end of the season last year when we were able to get Ruger and Luke and Max Grubbs back. And that was just a huge thing in today's college baseball. You can't coach birthdays. And, a lot of the older teams are the ones that seem to be successful. So Ruger's had a great year for us, and he was excited to pitch. He created some traffic for himself. I thought they really battled, and Lim had an awesome at-bat there at one point in the game. Ruger doesn't really walk a lot of guys. I guess he only walked 2. But there were a lot of deep counts, and then we made some nice plays behind them. I think the double play was that Brady Neal. I think the double play was big, and then they were kind of swinging earlier in the count later in his appearance and helped him get through some innings.
Yeah, Schloss is right. Coming into that double play, Texas had a 3-0 lead in the top of the second inning. Back-to-back walks to start the inning. That line drive double play was huge because the next batter singled, bringing in Alabama's first run, and then Riojas was able to battle back on a 3-2 pitch, get a ground out from Peyton Steele to end that Bama threat in the second. And from there, he settled in very, very nicely, giving up only 1 run over the final 4 innings of his start. And 3 of those final 4 innings for Riojas were 1-2-3 innings, or at least innings in which he faced the minimum. He got some help from another double play in the third. Either way, he did his job in preserving the Longhorn bullpen, and we'll get to the pitching matchup in this game in a little bit coming up tonight. But Alabama's starter, Zane Adams, who had dueled Riojas to a 3-1 loss during the regular season, but Adams was marvelous during that appearance against Texas at the Dish. He was not marvelous yesterday, as he struggled to land his changeup for a strike, as Keith Moreland pointed out. The TV broadcast was pointing out the way in which Adams was tipping his pitches. Eduardo Perez was calling out when changeups and fastballs were coming in the appearance. And part of the reason he thought Adams was tipping his pitches was because of the Longhorns' early offensive success. The Texas Longhorns at the end of the second inning had already put 7 runs up on the board on 7 hits. So Jim Schlossnagle was asked, what was he tipping his pitches? Did the dugout have a read on it?
Yeah, they asked me about that after, but we didn't have anything on him at all. Not that I'd tell you if we did, but no, Zane's a good pitcher. When I was my previous stop, we recruited him. He's from Texas. I know he's got family connections to Alabama, so he's had assuming he signs, he's had an awesome career. He was pretty unlucky early. Some of those balls that were hit, they had the third baseman in, and we hit one by him, and then A-Rod got one by the first baseman, second and third. So sometimes I'd rather be lucky than good, but today was our day. But he's a good pitcher.
And there was some luck that played a role early in the Longhorns getting some fortunate bounces through a drawn-in infield. But look, the scoreboard doesn't care about that at the end of the day. They'll take it. One thing Texas was watching closely for on the scoreboard, you heard in the last segment, Adrian Rodriguez mentioned that the excitement he felt when the error came down and it was officially ruled a triple, his second inning hit, which meant he was the 3rd player in Men's College World Series history to hit for the cycle. And Jim Schlossnagle, in being asked about this, was asked, is there politicking for scoring changes that happens behind the scenes? Now, as somebody that's worked recently in summer collegiate baseball, I can tell you this happens at every level. Every level, there's politicking for scoring changes. There's a story I can remember. Ole Miss catcher Colin Reuter played for the Wausau Woodchucks team that I broadcast for a couple summers ago. And there was a double that was ruled an error by a visiting scorer. Well, a scorer in a visiting ballpark. His folks came up to visit, said hello, And even then, the politicking began for a change in scoring. And in that situation, there was nothing I could do about it. It's something that happens, though, in baseball at all levels. And so Jim Schlossnagle was asked, is there politicking for scoring changes that happen as it related to this cycle?
I mean, had it not been changed by the end of the game, I certainly would have said something. I thought it was a clean triple, but I'm glad they made that change during the game. But no, I don't get in the middle of that unless Josh or somebody, our media relations guy, maybe he did something. I haven't talked to anybody about that.
And by the way, I only brought up that story about the Ole Miss catcher and the scoring change because they were right. His parents were right in that scoring change they were arguing for. But it's just something that, in such a game where your statistics and the eye of history in this case is on those types of things, maybe in a way that is unique to baseball, even compared to some other sports, and where there's subjectivity involved in some of these decisions. Scoring changes and arguments like that do happen. It didn't distract from what a complete performance this was from the Longhorns. And Jim Schlossnagle asked about how guys like Adrian Rodriguez, like Mendoza, and like Riojas, who have all dealt with injuries in their careers and specifically this season, and who all came to play yesterday when the chips were down, how do those three, Rodriguez, Mendoza, and Riojas, epitomize the spirit of the team?
Well, I think the common theme among those three guys is they all wanted to be at Texas. They love being a Texas Longhorn. Mendoza, he wanted to be at Texas after ASU. Ruger, UTSA transfer, loves it, loves the school, loves the program, wanted to come back. And then, of course, Adrian, he was committed to us at my previous institution. And as soon as we came over, he wanted to be with us. He wanted to be at Texas. So I think that's the common theme. They're certainly tough kids and competitive, and they love being Longhorns.
And as far as toughness goes, Jim Schlossnagle asked to follow up on the role that toughness has had in getting this team to where it is. And I've talked about the mental toughness that Texas showed throughout the season. So often they were able to recover from setbacks quicker than their SEC counterparts. That's why they finished second in the SEC. It's why I think a lot of fans didn't panic, even though Saturday night was a night against Georgia where nothing went right for Texas offensively, defensively, really in any part of the game. And Jim Schlossnagle was very vocal in his disappointment about it. But what is the role of toughness in getting Texas to where it is? Not just the mental toughness, but the physical grit to get through these injuries.
We got to give our training staff credit for sure, and strength conditioning, and the kids themselves. And but yeah, tough. I think anybody that plays this deep into a season. I mean, I don't know. Maybe George is perfectly healthy. I don't know, but most teams by now you're pretty banged up, and everybody's dealing with something. The best you're ever going to feel is the first game of the season, pretty much, and from that point forward, most of the time it's downhill. But one saying we have in our program is, if you have to feel good to play well, then you don't even play, because that's rarely going to happen. And so I'm really proud of our team for showing that grit.
Really gritty performance yesterday in a win for the Longhorns to keep their season alive. We'll talk about it much more coming up a little later in the program. But after this, more from Steve Sarkisian, his appearance on Kay Adams' podcast, Up and Adams. He has some thoughts on Arch Manning that we want to bring you later on this hour. We'll talk a little World Cup as well, some matches going on as we speak, some upsets, and some unique stories that we want to share with you as that tournament rolls on. So we're getting a little flavor outside of Longhorn baseball on this Tuesday afternoon. Coming up at 4 o'clock, Craig Way will join us from Charles Schwab Field in Omaha to host the last hour of the show. You're listening on AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeart Radio app. We're back after these messages.
Baseball season is here, and the Round Rock Express are ready to take the field. Hear all the action right here on 1300 The Zone. Whether you're at home or on the road, Stay connected with Round Rock Express Baseball live on 1300 The Zone.
This is the truck deal you've been waiting for, and Covert Chevy in Hutto is making it happen. 0% financing for 5 years on every 2026 Silverado 1500, and you won't make the first payment for 90 days. We're talking hundreds of options to choose from, with more rolling in every single day. Don't pay monthly interest on your old truck or car when you can save right now. 0% deals like this don't stick around, so come and see us at Highway 79 or head to coverthutto.com. Covert Chevy Hutto. Together, let's drive. For qualified buyers, see dealer for details.
You fired up the grill, you strung the lights, you even cleaned the patio furniture. But let's be honest, your cornhole set is an embarrassment. This summer, level up with official American Cornhole League gear. We're talking pro-quality boards, bags, and everything you need to become the undisputed backyard champion of your entire neighborhood. Or at least beat your brother-in-law. Shop now at aclshop.com, because summer's too short for bad cornhole.
Stay connected to Texas athletics and the 40 acres with the LHN app. Watch original content, behind-the-scenes access, interviews, press conferences, highlights, classic Longhorn moments, and select live events. It's your home for Texas athletics content all year long. And with new stories and features dropping all the time, there's always something new to discover. Best of all, the LHN app is free to download and watch. Download the LHN app today and take Texas athletics with you wherever you go. Hook 'em.
Your city deserves a safer, fairer ride. Fair.coop is coming soon with no surge pricing, no hidden fees, fair, transparent fares, and rides up to 20% cheaper. Drivers can earn up to 90%, and you can refer riders or drivers to earn free rides or commissions. Download now for the world's safest ride. Fair.coop, official partner of iHeart Radio. Download the app now at fair.coop/iHeart. That's FARE.coop/iHeart.
Progressive knows that boat days can come with unexpected problems.
Dang, I forgot the wakeboard. How am I supposed to enjoy myself without my favorite water activity? I mean, sure, we could still go tubing, fishing, or even just relax on a floaty, but without the wakeboard, what's the point?
If a real problem comes along, your boat's protected 24/7 with Progressive, so you can keep worrying about boater problems. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in D.C.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
AM 1300 The Zone occasionally holds contests. For more information about contests on this station, go to am1300thezone.com/rules.
The biggest FIFA World Cup ever has started.
The most goals the United States have ever scored in a World Cup game.
The only place to hear the action for free is iHeart Radio.
iHeart Radio and Fox Sports are bringing you every match of FIFA World Cup 2026
live. Lock in your preset now on the free iHeart Radio app.
Just search World Cup.
Don't miss Team USA's next match Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern against Australia.
The world is listening. Are you?
This World Soccer Report sponsored by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
iHeart Radio FIFA World Cup Update.
As the U.S. prepares for its next match, midfielder Tyler Adams says they're getting bonding time off the field.
Whether it's watching the World Cup game, whether it's watching the Stanley Cup, whether it's watching NBA Finals, it's a great moment for sports right now, just in general. And it's a great moment for our team just to be able to spend time with each other.
The U.S. meets Australia Friday. Meanwhile, Lionel Messi and Argentina will start their repeat quest tonight against Algeria.
For live Fox coverage, search World Cup now on the free iHeartRadio app.
Twin Peaks is unmatched for every match. With 29-degree draft Michelob Ultras, handcrafted Casamigo margaritas, and a scratch-made menu, and screens that will put you on the front row of every game. It's all going down at the Lodge. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Summer is here, and iHeartRadio has got you covered. I met you in the summer. Dive into summer hits, commercial-free on Songs of the Summer Radio. Hit play on summer playlists for road trips to pool days, like Summer Road Trip. And yeah, podcast so good, you can zone out in the shade. So Just open the free iHeartRadio app and find your next summer preset now.
Harsh and Henry, the morning kickoff, tomorrow at 7. And we're back to the Craig Way Show. Have a message for Craig? Share it by using the TalkBack feature on the iHeart Radio app.
Deep initial love. When I'm far away in another place, hold it out to more. Just as your pillow, waiting for your love. You in all the ways, in another place. All I'm thinking of, just can't get enough.
Yeah, off the EP Texas Moon. It's Kronbin from Houston here on a Texan Tuesday with B-Side. Texas trying to come through the B bracket, so to speak, in Omaha at the College World Series. They'll get their rematch with Georgia tonight. Going to go over the pitching matchup in that one. For Texas, it'll be Luke Harrison coming in with his 12-3 record in the last 2 years as a Longhorn starter. This year, he's got a 4.29 ERA. Just steady. And he's been able to come on in a variety of different roles for the Longhorns this season, both as a starter on Saturdays and Sundays, as well as a reliever. Remember, Luke Harrison came on to get some key outs throughout the postseason for Texas, including the final out of the regional against UCSB. Here was Luke Harrison with Roger Wallace, who's been handling sideline interviews and other Longhorn broadcast duties for Texas for our crew out there in Omaha, getting a chance to ask Luke Harrison after the game yesterday his thoughts on starting tonight.
Oh man, it's a dream come true. I think there's no stress or anything. Feeling like you have to do more to prepare. Been here for 5 years, been preparing for 5 years for this moment, and I know that I'm ready for it. I know that the guys behind me are going to go out there and make plays, and I'm going to fill up the strike zone. Opposing him for Georgia will be Dylan Vignew, and Vignew's got a 4.7 ERA this year. It's been a little feast or famine for him this year. There have been times where he's looked downright dominant. You look at back-to-back starts in April of one-run ball, 5+ innings against Mississippi State and Florida. Two very, very good lineups. You look at non-conference play where his ERA was sitting sub-2 before SEC play started. He carried that over into 4 solid innings against A&M. He's had some good results this year. He's also had some days where he's been hittable. The last 5 appearances for Vignew, 4 of which were starts, have not been great. As Evan Veith, our friend at Inside Texas, frequent guest on the program, counted up for us, over his last 13 innings, he's got a 13 ERA and a whip over 2 and only 13 strikeouts over that stretch. Georgia extended both of their starting pitchers into complete game performances. Joey Volchko on Saturday night, Caden Aoki yesterday against OU. So Georgia has its entire bullpen available behind Vignew if things go wrong, and Wes Johnson will definitely have a quick trigger. Georgia's bullpen has been up and down this season as well, but they've been really good in the postseason. You look at Georgia's high-leverage relievers, and they've combined to pitch really well when the moment has mattered, going back to their super regional against Mississippi State, where they got some really, really clutch performances from their bullpen. And those guys will all be called on, if need be, for Georgia here today, as you could expect. I'm pulling up, again, their stat. There were 3 relievers for Georgia who relied on a lot more than others in clutch, high-leverage situations
on the mound this season. Matt Scott, Justin Bird, and Zach Brown. And those three, all of their season ERAs are sitting in the high threes, but they combine for an ERA of 1 in the Athens Regional. Sometimes all that matters is coming in, having guys in the right shape, in the right headspace. You'll hear Jim Schlossnagle later talk about that when it comes to Brody Walls, who is also available, you figure, for Texas tonight out of the bullpen, if need be, after he threw 38 pitches in the win against Alabama yesterday, but got some big outs late in the game to preserve those higher leverage arms like LeFew, like Crossland, like Thomas Burns, who's still yet to pitch in Omaha, and of course, like the stopper of the year, Sam Kozar. So an interesting pitching matchup. We'll see which version of Dylan Vigue the Longhorns will get in this matchup against Georgia later tonight. Back to college football for a couple of moments. We heard from Steve Sarkisian earlier talking about the conversations or lack thereof surrounding Arch Manning's plans in the future. This was on Kay Adams' podcast, the Up and Adams show. And the conversation about Arch Manning continued. Sark was asked during the interview where Arch has improved the most. Here's what he had to say.
Well, I think the biggest thing for me with Arch was, he found out how tough he really was physically and mentally, to endure what he went through early in that season and to endure what he went through throughout games. And then the way he responded to that as the games went on later in the year. I mean, the guy's, bleeding out of his lips bleeding against Michigan at the end of the year, his hips jacked up, but yet he's still scrambling and running for touchdowns. I think he found out how tough he was as the season went on. And I think his teammates found out how tough he was. I always thought it was interesting. A lot of the NFL teams, when they're interviewing our players getting ready for the draft, they'll ask, who's the toughest guy on the team? Oh, well, those guys were all saying Arch Manning. And whether that was Manny Muhammad or Anthony Hill and all those guys, Michael Taft getting ready for the draft, they're saying Arch Manning. And so I think to me, what we learned about him and what he learned about himself is how mentally and physically tough he is, and then his ability to lead through that toughness to gain the respect of his teammates.
Like when he's on the bench and he's like, I don't give up. I'm just going to play like I don't give up. What do you think?
I like that too.
But what was
I'll
that
be honest with you. I love that too.
What does it say about him? What was that moment about?
He kind of just let the guard down.
Yeah.
He really did. And he took the governor off himself and just said, I'm going for it. I'm going to play. And I think that's what we've wanted out of him, but that's the growing pains that you go through and probably unfair expectations of him his first year starting on the road at Ohio State, that he was just going to be that way from the very beginning. It takes time. But he found that, and he found that inside of him. And I can tell you it was a great motivator for his teammates and for our staff, that knowing that's the guy that we have leading us into this season.
So Steve Sarkisian in this conversation with Kay Adams on the podcast Up and Adams, talking about Arch Manning and bringing to light that moment. I believe it was on the sideline early in the season where he's like, yeah, I'm just going to go out and play. And some of that is a little bit raw, like you heard Sark explain, but I think it's closer and closer to the version of Arch that Texas wants coming into 2026. How about the way Sark answered this next question, which is, how would Arch tell Sark, if he asked him, how he gets the best out of him? Meaning, what has Steve Sarkisian kind of done to have some success in unlocking the version of Arch we saw down the stretch of last season in the win over Texas A&M and in the Citrus Bowl?
Probably coaching him hard. In practice, I don't hold back with him. I try to make him uncomfortable as I can in practice, because I know how uncomfortable it can get in game. And so I push him hard, but yet at the same time, I'm trying to build his confidence in himself, knowing the things that he can do systematically. But I push him hard and I challenge him in practice every single day. But like I said, I've been very, very proud of Arch Manning. A lot of the guys, that they would have been faced with what he was faced with last year from a media perspective, I think they would have melted under that scrutiny. And he didn't melt. He found out about himself. He got stronger as the season went on. And I couldn't be more proud of a guy, the way that he went through it all and representing our football team and the entire University of Texas, and for that matter.
So some thoughts in the offseason from Steve Sarkisian, sharing some insights about the Longhorns quarterback. We've talked about that a little earlier on with Cameron Parker as well. If you missed that conversation, it'll be available wherever you get your podcasts. We are 15 minutes away from checking in with Craig. He'll host the 4 o'clock hour of the show from Charles Schwab Field in Omaha. Coming up next, we'll talk a little FIFA World Cup to close out this 3 o'clock hour, including a match that's coming down the stretch right now here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Texas baseball returns to Omaha for the College World Series.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Hello, Omaha. The Longhorns will return to the College World Series.
Listen to every pitch on 1300 The Zone, 98.1 KVET, and 103.1 FM.
Swung on and the ball hit well out toward left. Say goodnight to it.
Tune in this Saturday as the Longhorns face the Georgia Bulldogs. 6:45 p.m. airtime on 103.1 FM in the free iHeart Radio app. Hook 'em.
You know that pile of clothes you've been meaning to deal with? Yeah, same. That's why I love Trashy. It's the easiest way to clean out your closet, send your clothes somewhere better, and actually get rewarded for it. No more letting things sit around or wondering what to do with them. You just fill up a take-back bag with clothes you don't wear anymore. Send it in, and Trashy takes care of the rest, keeping it out of landfills and giving it a second life. It's such a simple way to feel good about clearing space and doing something better for the planet. And here's the best part. You earn cash rewards back for every bag you send, which makes it even easier to stay consistent. You can check it out at trashy.io. Plus, with Trashy Unlimited, you can get unlimited bags for just $48 your first year. An easy at-home cleanout system so you can stay on top of it all year long. Clean out, donate, earn rewards. Head to trashy.io to get started today.
Hey, it's Hannah from Central Texas' #1 sports bar, Rowdy Cowboy. If you love the Longhorns as much as Rowdy does, you will have to watch all the action on our 6 to 9 big screen TVs while enjoying ice-cold beer, craft cocktails, and our Texas-sized menu. And check out our Monday and Friday steak specials. So saddle up and head to Rowdy Cowboy, located off I-35 in Round Rock. Let's get rowdy. Visit us at Go Rowdy Cowboy.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
The places you can go with an Easy Tag, and it's not just toll roads throughout Texas. You get seamless toll travel in Oklahoma, Kansas, Florida, Colorado. Get your Easy Tag at hctra.org.
This summer's must-have accessory, it's the Simon Plus Rewards program, where you can access exclusive offers for shopping, dining, and having fun at Simon malls, mills, and premium outlets. Plus, you can get points and rewards for shopping at shopsimon.com too. It's free to join, and there are even more exciting perks to enjoy every time you shop. Sign up at simonplus.com today and get ready to summer in style. Rewards program terms apply. See simonplus.com for details.
It's time to warm up that scoreboard and get ready to bring home the win with Specs. Specs has you covered with lower prices on all your favorite fan fuel. From craft beer, rare spirits, and world-class wine to chips, dips, and gourmet finer foods. And with same-day delivery when you order online or through the app, Specs is your MVP for the biggest score of the game. At Specs, the fun starts here.
Here's to you, cheers to savings.
Harge and Henry, the morning kickoff, weekdays at 7.
We close out the 3 o'clock hour here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Again, coming up, Craig Way hosts the remainder of the show up until 5 o'clock from Charles Schwab Field in Omaha, where the Longhorns will once again play with their season on the line tonight against the Georgia Bulldogs. 6:45 pregame start time, 7 o'clock first pitch on 103.1 FM, Austin's 80s station. While it is getting late in the Longhorn baseball season, it's still early in the FIFA World Cup. And right now, France on top of Senegal 2-0. That's a rematch of one of the iconic World Cup upsets in the history of the tournament back in 2002 when France was shockingly, as the defending champions of the World Cup, stunned 1-0 by Senegal in their World Cup opener in Korea. And it was a symbolic game, with Senegal being a French colony up until 1960. One of those moments that soccer fans really remember. Kylian Mbappe gave France the lead in the 66th minute. They've since doubled it, and it is 2-0 to France, Les Bleus, as they call it. But speaking of World Cup upsets, this probably would have qualified for inconceivable had we had time for that today. And again, we thank Cameron Parker for joining us in the 2 o'clock hour, talking all sorts of things, Longhorn baseball, golf, Brendan Sorsby, and everything in between. But this was a pretty big deal. A 0-0 draw between Spain and Cape Verde yesterday. This was actually during the Longhorn baseball game against Alabama. And we're talking about Cape Verde, a collection of 10 islands off the coast of West Africa. Population 505,000, only half of what we've got here in Austin. And a country that was a Portuguese colony until 1975 pulled off one of the improbable results. Not a win, but still a draw against Spain, who was the betting favorite to win this tournament coming into this match. Now, this is certainly an upset that has gained some attention around the world. The Cape Verde goalkeeper, just goes by the name Vozinha, who is 40 years old, has had a very eclectic career in the sport. Playing over 20 years since he was 19 years old, over 200 games, clubs in Portugal, Cape Verde, Moldova, Angola, Cyprus, and Slovakia. Just one trophy in his career, a domestic cup, during his time playing in Europe. He's been the Cape Verde goalkeeper since 2012. He faced 27 shots in this game, made 7 saves to keep Spain, who is, like I told you, the favorite to win the World Cup, off the board. And overnight, he's become a hero. On Instagram, he went from 56,000 followers to 5 million. 5 million followers overnight. Born in a town of 70,000 people in Cape Verde. Quite a moment for Vozinha. These are the stories that the World Cup is all about. And then you've got all the experiences that the Europeans and other soccer fans from across the globe are having, some of them seeing America for the first time. You have the Algerian team, who plays Argentina later tonight, making their home base in Lawrence, Kansas, and just being embraced by that city. There will be a loud contingent of Algerian support tonight, even though they're facing Argentina, even though the spotlight is on the defending champions in their 2026 World Cup debut in the last World Cup for the legendary Lionel Messi. And that game coming up at 8 o'clock later tonight. You can listen to all these games on the iHeart Radio app. And you've also got the fun side of it. We talked on Inconceivable earlier this week about Freddie, the German soccer fan who has been tracking his way across the American South and chronicling the wonders of places like Buc-ee's and Walmart and Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn as he follows Germany through. He's become a celebrity now overnight. J.J. Watt's got him up at a hotel in Houston. And then you got the bagpipes. The Scottish fans who took over Fenway Park yesterday. Boston is the home base of Scotland in this World Cup. And you've heard of tarps off. How about tarps off, kilts on at the ballpark? We're coming up next with more here on the Craig Way Show, 1300 The Zone.
DraftKings Sports is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, Texas. The whole world is watching one tournament right now. Group stage chaos, knockout drama, stoppage time heartbreak. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in Texas. So whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or the late match at the bar, you're in on every minute, every match, every moment, all in one app. Right here in Texas, the world's biggest stage is in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers sign up with code AM1300. Spend $5 to get $200 in total rewards. That's code AM1300. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issue in non-withdrawable prediction dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends June 28th. Terms at dkng.co/predictions promo.
Did you really think Pure Talk was just going to sit back and watch America turn 250 years old without doing something awesome to celebrate? Of course not. That's why they're raising $250,000 for America's Warrior Partnership by the end of July. America's Warrior Partnership is on the front line of preventing veteran suicide. They've had extraordinary success, and here's how you can help. When you switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk this month, you'll be invited to round up to support America's Warrior Partnership. No pressure, but if you do, Pure Talk will match your donation dollar for dollar. And to further celebrate 250 years of our extraordinary democratic republic, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. That's pound 250, say Mike Rowe. And happy birthday to us.
Time for your Live Nation concert update. Don't miss Ginger at Emo's, June 27th. Slow Joy at Brushy Street Commons, July 18th. Motionless in White at Germania Insurance Amphitheater, July 26th. And Baby Metal at Germania Insurance Amphitheater, September 26, 2026. Get tickets at livenation.com. That's livenation.com.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. What are your rights and responsibilities? Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis.
48 countries.
Only one winner.
Yes. iHeartRadio and Fox Sports are bringing you every match of FIFA World Cup 2026.
Live. Every unforgettable moment wherever you are. Lock in your preset now on the free iHeart Radio app.
The world is listening.
I got smart about mortgages. Now it's my house I go home to.
I got smart about credit cards. Now paper or plastic has a whole new meaning. When it comes to your money, whatever you want to get smart about, you can find it at smartaboutmoney.org. Smartaboutmoney.org is a free online resource from the National Endowment for Financial Education. We're an independent nonprofit foundation dedicated to helping people just like you get sound information about money. Smartaboutmoney.org. It's the easy place to start when you want to get smart.
From the Audio Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeart Radio app. It's the Craig Way Show with the voice of the Texas Longhorns and Hall of Fame broadcaster, Craig Way.
From Charles Schwab Field in Omaha, Nebraska, it's an elimination game in the 2026 NCAA Men's College World Series. The Texas Longhorns against the Alabama Crimson Tide. A 1-2 to Torres. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Working around a one-out single, Ruger Rioja strikes out the side in the top of the first. 1-0 the count of Mendoza. Hit swung on ground ball. That's through down the left field line. Rounding third, Robbins will score. Carson Tinney will head to third base. Mendoza goes to second. It's an RBI double for Ethan Mendoza. The Longhorns strike first. They lead 1-0. Stretch from Adams in the pitch to A-Rod. Swings here and chops to ground fair. Down the right field line. It'll score 2 runs. Rodriguez will dig for second, and he'll hold there. 3 doubles here in the bottom of the first. The Longhorns lead it 3-0. Ruger ready in the 0-2. Swung on, line, caught, double play on the bag. Ashton Larson snags the line shot off the bat of Brennan Holt and easily doubles off the runner from first, Eric Hines, for a quick double play and 2 outs. The pitch swung on, and that's lifted to shallow left field. It's going to fall for a base hit. Eric Hines went racing over, but realized he didn't have a play. It drops in for an opposite field 2-out RBI single. Casey Borba scores from third. Anthony Pack Jr., the freshman, with his first hit in the College World Series, and the Longhorns get the run right back. They go up 4-1. Here's the 1-ball, 2-strike pitch to Mendoza. And he swings and hits it through on the right side, of base hit. Rounding third, Tinney's digging for the plate. Here comes the throw. Tinney slides. He's safe. And moving to second on the throw is Mendoza, who's 2 for 2. Pack is at third. It's 5-1 Texas. The pitch. Swings here and hits a ball. This one a sinking liner to left center. It'll fall in between the 2 fielders. It'll roll to the wall. The Longhorns will get more run production. Racing for third, Rodriguez slides. He's safe with a triple. Texas strikes again. Pack and Mendoza both score. It's 7-1 Texas. Here's the pitch. This is hit on the ground to second. Up with it, a throw to second for 1. Relay to first. In time. 4-6-3 Hammond-Egger. The double play ends the inning. Ruger Riojas, the stretch. The 1-ball, 2-strike pitch to Peyton Steele. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. And Riojas able to pick up strikeout number 5 to end the 4th with minimal damage done. The 0-2 pitch to Eric Hines. And that is strike 3 call. Riojas gets it. What a way to put an exclamation point on a big afternoon for Ruger Riojas. A strikeout to retire the Tide in order in the 6th. The pitch. He swings here and hits the ball well out toward left. Chasing the left fielder Hines. Into the corner. Say goodnight to it. Apo Taco. Anthony Pack Jr. bends it around the left field foul pole for a home run into the Texas bullpen. And the Longhorns now lead it 9-2. With a payoff pitch to Adrian Rodriguez. And he swings here and it's a high fly ball. Deep to right. Say goodnight to this one. Adrian Rodriguez. What a day. 4 for 4. And now drives in a career high 6 runs. and the Longhorns have blown it open. They lead it 11-2. Here's a pitch, and that's lined in the left field, a base hit. Rounding third, Robbins. He will score. Headed for third base is Tinney. He'll slide in. The ball gets away, but no further advancement. It's an RBI single from Anthony Pack Jr. to score Aiden Robbins, and it's now 12-2 Texas. And the pitch. Swung on, and he lines it fair. Down the right field line, it's going to be another extra base hit. A run scores. An amazing afternoon for Adrian Rodriguez. 5 for 5, 7 RBIs. He's hit for the cycle. The Longhorns now lead 14-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Cody Howard strikes him out and ends the ball game. And the Longhorns are still playing baseball in 2026. Final score here in this elimination game at the College World Series in Omaha. The Texas Longhorns 14, the Alabama Crimson Tide 2. No matter how this College World Series ends for the Texas Longhorns, no doubt they will take away some very pointed, vivid memories like Adrian Rodriguez hitting for the cycle. We'll see what tonight can hold for Texas. Good afternoon, and with you for the 4 o'clock hour. Good to be back with you here. Craig Way with you from Charles Schwab Field here in Omaha, Nebraska. Right now, an elimination game going on, and West Virginia's been largely in control of this one with Troy. The Mountaineers lead the Troy Trojans 7-0, but Troy does have the bases loaded with nobody out in the bottom of the 7th inning, and West Virginia's in a pitching change. Obviously, we'll keep you posted on that. Jake Herman, the producer, back in the studio, and pleased to be joined during this portion of the program by part of our Longhorn broadcast team. Roger Wallace is up here with us as well, and it's been a unique, I would say, College World Series, what we've seen so far.
Yeah, from the way it started Saturday for Texas, just uncharacteristic. You feel like they never got a chance in that first game. First of all, they staked Georgia some runs, and then they faced one of the great pitching performances we probably seen in this stadium in this setting.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Reese Bassinger is coming on. He's one of the lead guys for West Virginia trying to close this out. So if West Virginia goes on to win, and again, they're up 7-0 bottom of the 7th, even though Troy has the bases loaded with nobody out. If West Virginia goes on, they would move into the bracket championship, bracket 1, and they would face North Carolina, who beat them on Sunday night. And they would have to beat North Carolina twice, Sunday night and then, tomorrow night and tomorrow afternoon. They would have to beat them tomorrow afternoon and then again on Thursday. Of course, bracket 2, where the Longhorns are, they are among the 6 teams remaining. If Troy loses, it would be, you might say, down to a Fab 5 and trying to reach the Final Four of college baseball. To do that, they'd have to even the score against Georgia after what Roger talked about, them losing on Saturday night. They would have to beat Georgia tonight, eliminate the Bulldogs, the highest remaining seed in this tournament, the number 3 seed. Of course, the SEC regular season and postseason tournament champions. And then they'd have to beat the Oklahoma Sooners not once but twice. Go and figure that out. A team that finished in 11th place in the conference standings, lost to the 14th place team, LSU, on the first day of the SEC tournament, got knocked out of there, got sent to Atlanta, where Georgia Tech, the number 2 overall national seed, was playing them. Georgia Tech beat them in a rain-interrupted contest on Saturday night in the winner's bracket. They come back. Georgia Tech is up 6 runs Sunday. Oklahoma comes back and beat them. They play the if-necessary game on Monday, and Georgia Tech is up 7-3 in the 6th inning. And Oklahoma comes back and beats them. And then with that full head of steam, they took that to Kansas after having beaten Georgia Tech, the ACC regular season and tournament champion. They just blasted their way through Lawrence, Kansas, knocking off the Big 12 regular season tournament championship, and they just haven't stopped.
You imagine in Lawrence that Monday when Talkie hits the home run, and they're thinking, holy cow, we're hosting a super regional. We're 2 home wins away from Omaha, and they just get ambushed up in Lawrence. But yeah, what a story, and it kind of speaks to this game and how what happens in February and March and April, your team could be much different here in May and June.
You know, we were talking about how this team that Skip Johnson has at Oklahoma is different than most regular Skip Johnson coach teams because of Skip's pitching prowess and is a savant, of course, when it comes to being a pitching coach and all of those kinds of things. We and how this team has not had great ERA. They've had great slug, and they've continued to swing the bats very well. But then they turn around and get a marvelous performance out of Xander Mercurius, the freshman, last night. He did give up 3 runs on 3 solo home runs, and then Jackson Cleveland was able to close it out with Georgia have the tying and go-ahead runs on base in the ninth.
Yeah, and you always figure with Skip, as you said, pitching is going to be, where it starts, and he's relying on some young arms. And, we saw him in Austin. Those were low-scoring games. Texas swept, but, those were all tight games that Texas won and low-scoring games. So nobody expected it when they were fighting for their lives just to get into the tournament, and now they're sitting there a win away. But they've got to beat either a Georgia team or a Texas team that will be coming off another emotional win. And so, and what you mentioned, West Virginia is interesting. Craig Basinger comes in here. This is the whole thing about these games. Steve Saban didn't want to have to use him today. They were up 7-0. Looks like they're going to cruise. But at any sign of stress, they're going to go to that bullpen, whereas Texas yesterday didn't have to. It was 7-0 or 7-2 in the top of the 6th inning. If there's more traffic, as Schloss says, you're probably going to see one of the top relief guys. They get out of that. They put 4 on the board. No Sam Cozart, no Thomas Burns, no Hayden LeFew. So, they're set up as well as they can be tonight. Doesn't mean we know what's going to happen with that pitching staff.
Yeah, but at least they if this game goes on with West Virginia winning, what will be remembered is Troy's inability to get a clutch hit with runners in scoring position. They have already left 8 runners on base, and that includes 6 in scoring position in the game. And they have the bases loaded, but it's now 2 outs. And, in fact, swing and a miss on a strikeout, and the inning's over. And they leave the bases loaded for the 2nd straight inning. So it's still 7-0 in favor of West Virginia. They go to the 8th inning. West Virginia, the designated visiting team today. And so that's going to ultimately be the thing that brings down Troy, assuming unless they have a miracle rally with 6 offensive outs left in their season, is just leaving a lot of runners on base.
And think about what's going on in Morgantown when they're unbelievably watching Cal Poly win that UCLA regional, the number 1 team, pretty much wire to wire in UCLA. And all of a sudden they look up and they're hosting a super against the Cal Poly team that was clearly had their moment in Westwood because they went and got ambushed. They had to wait a day, right? They had a delay. They had to prolong the agony in Morgantown.
The funny thing is I've heard a lot of national analysts, college baseball broadcasters talk about this. And you and I have seen it with our own eyes and experienced it with our own eyes. And I'm talking about the dynamic of Morgantown with the whole Take Me Home Country Roads thing. I've seen that football games, men's basketball games, women's basketball games, and baseball games. And the broadcasters acted like this is this incredible phenomenon, watching all these fans lock arms and sing Take Me Home Country Roads. I'm like, dude, they do it every time they win. What do you mean?
Yeah. It is, it's a cool ballpark. We went there right when they moved to that park. I had not been to the old park.
That was good. It was good that you didn't have
to down on campus. But it was a beautiful, they shared it with a minor league team that no longer exists because of contraction. It was a great ballpark. It was a great setup up on the hill. And Texas always seemed to have problems there.
Yeah.
Randy Mazey had some really good teams there. And then, obviously, they've taken it to the next level. But
the only series they won there was the one when Ivan Melendez had when you were calling it when I was in and out of town and coming back. And I came back for Sunday because it was a Friday rain out. I flew back to Austin to Waco to do the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame banquet. You wound up calling a doubleheader solo on Saturday where Melendez hit, 4 home runs in 2 games?
Funny story about that. That lefty pitcher for them, Hampton, I can't remember his first, ended up transferring. Just lo and behold, after that doubleheader, There's a Buffalo Wild Wings across the street right next to our hotel. So I go to get something to eat. He's sitting there with his parents, and I can clearly hear him saying, I don't know how he hit it that far. I mean, it was a tip your cap moment. But, yeah, but
that's the only series they won. They won those 2 games and even lost the Sunday game.
They had some struggles there. One year, remember, Augie had to go receive that award in New York City.
Yeah.
He misses the Saturday game. He comes back for the Sunday game. He's walking across the field, and I have to do the pregame live with him as he's semi-changing into his uniform there for that final game of the series.
I'd forgotten about that, but you're right. And that was the first time we went in there afterwards, and that was again after Texas had played them one time at old, I think it was Hanley. No, I can't remember the name of it. It's probably just as well. I think it was Hanley Field, but I can't remember for sure. And it was basically, I mean, it was their ballpark, and it was a college on a college campus, but it looked like your local in-town recreation park. It looked like anybody that's been to Denton, Texas and seen Mack Park on the east side of Denton, where North Texas had a brief baseball program for, I think, 4 seasons, like 82 through 85. And they had, in the day and age when everybody complained about 11.7 scholarships that it'd be up, North Texas was only funded to do 2.5 scholarships for the entire team. But they had Bobby Witt in Oklahoma came in one year. Pete Incaviglia in Oklahoma State came in one year. So I remember all of that. But it was in a city park, and that's basically what the ballpark at West Virginia was like. And the Big 12 basically, I credit the Big 12 for being proactive enough when West Virginia came in the league to tell them your park is substandard. You've got to do something about it. You got to play better. And so what they did was they split the games between that ballpark and the minor league ballpark in Charleston, West Virginia. Our friend Tom Barfield was doing Baylor at the time, and he said it was actually a decent ballpark there. And then there was another one down in Beckley, West Virginia, right near Jerry West's hometown, and that was the one where you had a light standard in play in the outfield. Like that similar situation when Kansas State had to temporarily leave their ballpark, Torrington Family Stadium, and play in a minor league. It was an American Legion Park in St. Joseph's, Missouri, and they had a light standard in play there. So I remember all of those things there. All right, so we're going to see, for the Longhorns, Luke Harrison go to the mound, and Dylan Vigu is going to go for Georgia. For folks who don't know about Vigu, he's a right-hander, and he's 4-1 with a 4.73 ERA. Yes, he's one of the 29 transfers on their team. He started at Michigan, 6'3", 230-pound right-hander, 4-1, a 4.73 ERA. And Harrison at 6-3 and a 4.29 earned run average tonight.
He's not a big strikeout guy. If you look, 34 walks and 59-plus innings, and he's hit 11 guys, so has a tendency to give up some free bases. You wonder how he responds on this stage. So, yeah, Texas is the designated home team. So I go back to yesterday, get that 0 on the board, and then see if you can put some pressure on him.
Yeah, it might make a big difference there. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate
My pleasure.
It. Yeah, Roger will be down on the field with us for the post-game interviews following tonight's game. Up next, we're going to actually hear Roger's conversation with Anthony Pack Jr. We'll have that coming up next, and we'll hear some more from Jim Schlossnagle, as well as Texas prepares to play another elimination game tonight against the Georgia Bulldogs here at the College World Series here in Omaha, Nebraska, here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeart Radio app.
Everything runs through Austin.
Swing and a miss! Light the tower! The Texas Longhorns have won their second straight softball national championship.
Congratulations to Texas softball on winning back-to-back national championships.
Gary going back. Warning track. Deep. It's gone. Tegan's 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss.
1300 The Zone. Your home for champions. Your home for the Horns.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One,
is coming back to Las Vegas.
September 18th and 19th at T-Mobile Arena, streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu.
And you can be there
For a weekend full of superstar performances.
Are you ready?
Once-in-a-lifetime moments you'll have to see to believe.
We're getting this party going, huh?
Only limited single-night tickets remain. Get yours while you still can now at AXS.com. And we'll see you at our 2026 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One.
If you're still using a sportsbook to bet on the soccer tournament, you're getting robbed. Delete that app and join the millions using Polymarket. Polymarket is a prediction market, not a sportsbook. You trade against other fans, not the house. Polymarket, your go-to prediction market for soccer's biggest stage, available in all 50 states. Download the Polymarket app, use promo code TACO to unload $50 free for your first trade. That's promo code TACO. Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility apply.
Nate Bargatze. It's a lot to have two dogs because you got to open the back door and let two dogs out.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour, Moody Center, Saturday, June 20th. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
It's a celebration 250 years in the making.
And we want everyone in America, from Maine to Montana, from Alabama to Alaska, to be a part of it.
This year marks America's 250th anniversary, and we're coming together from coast to coast at star-spangled events, live performances, and the largest day of giving in American history.
Join the nationwide celebration at America250.org.
Delivering more is just how we do business at Group 1 Ford of South Austin. Get more selection with our huge inventory of brand new Fords and quality pre-owned rides. More value with bigger deals and more confidence with our Austin family that's been serving Central Texas drivers for over 2 decades. Whether you're hauling gear to Zilker Park or commuting down Mopac, you get more with the team that knows Ford best. Group 1 Ford of South Austin, home of transparent pricing and no dealer add-ons. Visit us on South I-35 or online at group1fordofsouthaustin.com.
From the Odoo.com Traffic Center, Odoo.com, the only business software you will need.
Allow them plenty of room to take care of this. There's a vehicle on fire. It's going to be the Pflugerville area. It's the 130 Service Road northbound at East Pecan Street. We do have slow traffic now reported 35 northbound between 45 and 79 Sam Bass Road. And there is an accident they're working to clear. Cesar Chavez at Pleasant Valley. I'm Kat Cortez with your Austin area traffic.
This report is brought to you by Hectra.org.
The places you can go with an easy tag, and it's not just toll roads throughout Texas. You get seamless toll travel in Oklahoma, Kansas, Florida, Colorado. Get your easy tag at hctra.org.
Hey, America, we need to have a little talk. I don't know if you've noticed, but we got a lot of food in this country. A lot of peaches, a lot of corn, a lot of apples, a lot of everything. We've got so much food that we can't even eat it all. So if we got all this extra food, how are 17 million kids in America struggling with hunger? I just don't get it. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and gets it to the hungry kids who need it. They can get you food even if you live in Idaho or Alaska or somewhere crazy like that. This isn't complicated. We got extra food and we've got hungry kids. Feeding America's done the math. Now it's your turn. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. I know you got internet on your phone, so what are you waiting for? We can't do it without your help. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Texas football plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. We're back. It's the Craig Way Show with Hall of Fame broadcaster and voice of the Texas Longhorns, Craig Way.
July moonlight shines, your pretty little head on my shoulder. Pull over on the side of the road. My God, you're something like nothing I've ever seen. If I'm asleep, girl, let me dream. Baby, fall into my kiss. It should just happen like this. Trust it so much that
and this being a Texan Tuesday, Omaha, Nebraska notwithstanding, in the 2 o'clock hour, I trusted that Jake Herman brought you back with some Stevie Ray Vaughan, and in the 3 o'clock hour, the iconic Willie Nelson. 4 o'clock is when we always hear from the King George Strait. And your reasoning for this particular selection?
Give it all we got tonight, Craig, because for Texas baseball, there's no tomorrow guaranteed.
Absolutely. I think you're exactly right. A couple of items from the text line. Thank you for the person who texted in. I was trying to remember Hawley Field. I said Hanley. I couldn't remember. It's still there. And when you pass by in Morgantown, if you were to drive by in Morgantown, you still see it down there by their soccer field down below the Coliseum there. And I think it's Jerry West Boulevard, I think it is, right through there. And Hawley Field in Texas, I remember played one weekend series there, the first year that West Virginia was in the Big 12. And, Roger Clemens' son, Casey, was playing for Texas at the time. This is before Cody Clemens got with the Longhorns. Casey was playing. And one of Roger's old battery mates, when they were, I think when Roger was with the Blue Jays, Charlie O'Brien, who was a catcher for many years in Milwaukee, his son was playing for West Virginia. And we all ran into each other at dinner one night there at a restaurant there, so I always remembered on that. And then you said somebody had a question about the specificity of a play that I called in the broadcast yesterday.
Yeah, Jeannie on Facebook said, please let me know what a ham and egger is. Loved the call last night, but I'm confused.
Okay, all right. I owe all of that to my broadcast partner, Keith Moreland. And he used to say that. And what a ham and egger refers to is a kind of a routine double play. Now, Keith, when he's working, when he'd be working the game with me, would say a ham and egger was a 6-4-3 double play, which was ground ball hit to the shortstop, flips to second to retire the runner coming from first base, and then the relay to first in time to get the runner coming down the line. 6-4-3. 6 being the position number of the shortstop, 4, the second baseman, 3, the first baseman, 6-4-3. Keith would call that a ham and egger. And I asked him on the air one time, I said, similar thing, ham and egger. And he said, yeah, just like it's routine. It's something you can have for breakfast. So being the smart ass that I was about it, said, I love ham and eggs. I really do. But I'm here to tell you, I think more people eat bacon and eggs for breakfast than ham and eggs. Now, lots of people eat ham and eggs. I eat ham and eggs. But I eat bacon and eggs more often than I eat ham and eggs. And I said, wouldn't you think that 6-4-3 being as routine as it is, wouldn't that be a bacon and egger? He said, that's a mouthful. I said, it's a good point. So I started, but in my mind, I started thinking the less common double play is the 4-6-3. Second baseman to the shortstop back to first, not 6-4-3. 6-4-3, your classic short to second to first, double play to register a couple of outs, maybe even end an inning if there was already one out registered. 4-6-3, a little less common. The second baseman fields it, throws back to second, and then the relay to first in time for the double play. That's a little less common. So therefore, to me, that was more in line of a ham and egger. In the case of yesterday's game, and it was a part of the montage, Brady Neal, the Alabama catcher, was at the plate with Justin LeBron at first base. Bryce Fowler had led off with a base hit to right off of Ruger Riojas. Then LeBron hit into a fielder's choice. He hit to third, and they couldn't turn a 5-4-3 double play. That could also be a ham and egg, or maybe that's a sausage and egg. I don't know, because that's not as common either. But Justin LeBron's too fast. He beat the relay throw to first. So it was a fielder's choice, 5-4, and LeBron replaced Fowler as the runner at first base. Next man to the plate was Brady Neal, and Neal hits it on the ground to second. Temo Becerra fields it, flips to Adrian Rodriguez at coming over from short to take the throw, to step on the bag at second and fire to first to retire Neal down the line. 4-6-3 double play. The inning's over. So that's why I said a 4-6-3 ham and egger, because of that. The ham and egger to me is more in line with the 4-6-3, because the 4-6-3 happens less often than the 6-4-3, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. No, completely. Because sometimes it takes the second baseman away from the bag, and the runner can be more in the way.
But I do agree with Keith. Saying bacon and egger would be that might be a little bit too much of a mouthful there. And I didn't have eggs for breakfast. I had blueberry pancakes this morning. So just for the record.
What do you call that line out double play then?
That was just a line shot. That was L3. It was just a line shot.
That's a continental breakfast.
Yeah, there you go. It happened so quickly, right? Grab and go. That's what that should be. A grab and go, that kind of thing. All right. After the game yesterday, Roger Wallace got an opportunity to visit down on the field with Anthony Pack Jr., who had a frustrating first ever College World Series game on Saturday night, as many of the Longhorns did in that 7-1 loss to Georgia. Pack, who hit 44 out of 110 in conference play, the only man in the SEC to hit 400 in conference play. He led the SEC in conference batting average. He batted 400 there, who, of course, came in batting at I believe it was 362 or something like that, or 363 at the time. He went 0 for 4 and struck out 3 times in the game against Georgia. And again, you give a lot of the credit for that to Joey Volchko, because Volchko, did a heck of a job against Texas. That was just a standout pitching performance. So Pack was frustrated, but he came up and came through again for Texas. And Pack in the game against Alabama yesterday went 3 for 5, drove in 4 runs, scored 3 runs. Pack had an RBI single and a run scored in the second. By the way, he hit into a 4-6-3 ham and egger in the fourth, by the way, double play. But then had a 2-run homer in the sixth and had an RBI single in the eighth. So he got his first hits in Omaha as a collegian, of course, the freshman, and Roger Wallace visited with him after the game.
With Anthony Pack, first of all, just about getting the win, getting to keep playing here at the College World Series, what's that feel like?
Yeah, that's a huge win right there. We're basically playing for our lives right now, but that's a great team over there. A great win, but one win closer to our goal.
You guys had 8 2-out RBIs. You had the 2-run home run. Obviously, A-Rod had a big game. What was working so well with this offense?
Yeah, I think just taking the ball where it needs to be. Great pitcher on the mound, great lefty with a sinker. Threw it outside and just wanted to take it where it's pitched. And all my trust is in A-Rod. We see the work he puts in. We see how much time he puts in the cages. I know he was going to ball out.
You guys got that separation late. You hit the 2-run oppo. Tell me that feeling, seeing that ball climb out.
Yeah, that felt great. I grounded into a double play before against the same pitcher. As I said, great pitcher, great pitches, but just got on the fastball and took it where it wanted to be and got a hold of it.
Get to play another day. Congrats.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
So there it is. Anthony Pack Jr. There and able to break through and come up with a 3-hit day yesterday after going hitless in game 1 of the series. So hopefully he'll be on his game and ready to go against the right-hander, Dylan Vigu. Pack, by the way, and I don't have at the moment, I will before the game starts tonight, what are called the analysis stats and the breakdown stats, where you'll hear me mention how he's doing against left-handers versus how he's doing against right-handers. Pack is one of those guys who does have what are called reverse splits. Normally, left-handed hitters hit right-handed pitchers better, and right-handed hitters hit lefties better. They just see the ball better, right? Pack is what you call a reverse splits guy. He actually hits better against left-handers than righties, but it's really close. You're almost splitting hairs on him. Well, I'll take a look at the updated numbers and see how the game he had yesterday affects that. All right, they're making another pitching change here. This game right now is rolling in on 3 hours and 28 minutes, right? It's in the top of the ninth. West Virginia is the designated visiting team. They're up 8-0 on Troy. Troy will have one more at bat. Of course, the Longhorns are due to play at 7 o'clock tonight. And 6:45 is our pregame start time, and that's on 103.1 FM, Austin's 80 station. You can also always hear it on the other places, the iHeart Radio app, also on the Texas Longhorns app, and online at texaslonghorns.com. Did you say that my explanation on ham and egger that was sufficient?
Yep, and it was sufficient for Jeannie. She said, thanks for the explanation. I agree with you, Craig. I'll take ham and egger. She added, since they're playing on grass in Omaha, maybe the play call should be green eggs and ham. I see what you did there.
I like it. Well done, Jeannie. Very, very nicely done. I see what you did there.
Reminds me of Ben McDonald on those O's games calling Sam Basayo. He'll go, Sam, I am.
There you go. All right, we have more coming up from Omaha, Nebraska here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeart Radio app.
Austin, we have a little announcement.
Which sounds serious, but don't worry. No one's asking you to merge on I-35.
JB and Sandy are back.
It's been a while, and we've got a lot to catch up on.
What we've been doing, what Austin's been doing, and why everything now costs at least $12.
We live here, we love it here, and this is the city we know best.
Wake up with JB and Sandy every morning from 6 to 10.
On 98.1 KBET, Austin's all-time country favorites.
98.1 KBET and iHeart Country Station.
Available everywhere on the free iHeart Radio app.
Guaranteed human.
From the ABA Heating and Cooling Weather Center, this is Zone Weather.
Austin area weather calling for cloudy skies tonight, a low of 73. Tomorrow, morning clouds, afternoon sun, a high of 95, and a low tomorrow night of 77.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Because it probably can be.
This is the truck deal you've been waiting for, and Covert Chevy in Hutto is making it happen. 0% financing for 5 years on every 2026 Silverado 1500, and you won't make the first payment for 90 days. We're talking hundreds of options to choose from, with more rolling in every single day. Don't pay monthly interest on your old truck or car when you can save right now. 0% deals like this don't stick around, so come and see us at Highway 79 or head to coverthutto.com. Covert Chevy Hutto. Together, let's drive. For qualified buyers, see dealer for details.
Transform your home with fresh paint, just in time for America's 250th anniversary. Celebrate with CertaPro Painters and get $250 off projects of $2,500 or more. Schedule by July 10th and let freedom and fresh paint ring. We are more than just your local painters. From the first brushstroke to the final smile, our promise is simple. Your home beautifully painted and worry-free. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Clean out your closet, donate your clothes, and earn rewards with Trashy. Send your clothes somewhere better and get cash back on every bag. Get unlimited take-back bags all year for just $48. Trashy. Clean out, donate, earn.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh, no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 30% with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
It's the French Open, where every point is a battle on clay. I'd know. I competed there for decades. Join me, Renee Stubbs, on the Renee Stubbs Tennis Podcast for no-nonsense breakdowns of the biggest matches, the toughest players, and the moments that define Roland Garros.
Listen, Elena Rybakina is arguably the best player in the world right now, and I actually
No
can
doubt.
win on any surface.
Search the Renee Stubbs Tennis Podcast on iHeart Radio, America's #1 podcast network and the Webby Podcast Company of the Year.
Presented by Capital One, founding partner of iHeart Women's Sports.
iHeart Radio FIFA World Cup update.
The second match for the U.S. is quickly approaching. Haji writes as the team is focused on Australia after getting off to a hot start against Paraguay.
We analyzed that match. We're proud of what we did, but that's the next challenge.
The U.S. and Australia will face each other Friday in Seattle. Today's action includes Lionel Messi taking the field in his 6th World Cup as Argentina plays Algeria.
For live Fox coverage, search World Cup now on the free iHeartRadio app.
The world's biggest soccer celebration is here. Show your team spirit beyond game day with a MyPlates personalized plate. Choose your message, your style, and your colors. Create yours today at myplates.com.
It's the morning kickoff show with Mike Hardball Harge and Mark Henry. Weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. Only on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. And we're back to the Craig Way Show. Have a message for Craig? Share it by using the talkback feature on the iHeart Radio app.
Now they'll pass away. Well, I've been doing fine on the Houston time. And when the sun sets on the Pocono Bay, well, from way up to where?
I am kind of curious as to your choice of this particular selection coming back, because I have a story about it.
Well, I mean, you know it. You hear it every game when the Longhorns win games at the Dish. And, of course, we try to feature Texan artists on Tuesdays. Pat Green from San Antonio.
Yeah. I got to meet him several years ago, and he was playing in a little venue up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and just a solid gold guy, just a great guy and all that. That's why I was thinking about him when you played that. Updating here, first of all, the update you heard the World Cup update brought to you by MyPlates, and we can update it further to let you know France did win this afternoon. They were in a tight one. Scoreless at the half with Senegal, and then got going in the second half. They got up 2-0. Senegal scored, and then Mbappe scored, and 3-1 is your final there. And I believe Norway and Iraq are getting ready to play in their match. Here, the update is now 10-0 West Virginia. Another pitching change for Troy. So it's not much of a mercy kill. It's just an out-and-out kill going on right now as they're bringing Troy's season to an end. But I'll tell you what, and we talked about Troy throughout the year with Ty Harrington, with whom we did the normal Tuesday. But we didn't know how much show we might have from here today, and that's why we waited. But next week we'll do one more baseball update. We'll either be talking about a previewing of the final game in a best-of-3 national championship series, or will you talk about the new national champion that would have swept the two games? Actually, it'd be Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So we'll be talking about the new college baseball champion regardless next week. So we'll look forward to that. Speaking of the teams that are still battling, of course, Texas plays Georgia. After the game yesterday, still so much buzz about Adrian Rodriguez hitting for the cycle. And so Jim Schlossnagle was asked, it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek question, really, but they asked him, what are you feeding A-Rod? And was a game like this exactly how he would have drawn it up?
Yeah, he just had the same breakfast I had this morning. But A-Rod's a good player. I mean, A-Rod would be A-Rod would be a mid 300s, a high 300s, double-digit homer, 15 homer player. He's a potential first rounder. Hopefully this summer we can get him fully healthy. But he's a great player. And then in terms of the type of game, just a win. I would have liked for Ruger to be a little more efficient, but you have to respect Alabama too. And so, we'll take it. He's certainly not having to use Luke or a Sam or Burns or even Crossland. Really excited about Brody Walls, though. Brody Walls is in a good place right now.
That is good to hear. And Brody Walls did have 2 scoreless innings out of the pen for Texas. Now, from the man of the match yesterday, Adrian Rodriguez was asked, first of all, to kind of just rack his brain and think back with all the baseball he's been playing since he was a little bitty kid, going back to playing T-ball, growing up in Flower Mound in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. For all of that time, has he ever hit for the cycle?
No, I don't believe so. Maybe when I was in T-ball.
Yeah.
When they just let you run around the bases with no defense, but that's about it. Yeah.
Did you get home runs that day too?
In T-ball?
Yeah. That day.
I mean, if they count them as home runs, yeah.
I've been through that with my own sons and now my grandson who's crossed that threshold. He's playing select ball now in coach pitch. But yeah, I understand where A-Rod's coming from that. He was also asked, there's been a lot of talk about the way the Longhorns celebrate and his waggle at the plate, and the shoulder shimmy, and all that other kind of stuff, and the tapping on the chest, which is a message that all the Longhorns do when there's 2 strikes or whatever to let them know, hey, I'm in it for you, that kind of thing. But he was asked about the dugout celebration as well.
I mean, we usually just do what we do the whole season, just kind of get hyped for the guys around us, and it's just happened to be me at that moment, so it's awesome.
Yeah, it's worked out really well for him. In case you're wondering what Adrian Rodriguez is hitting, not only here in Omaha, but also overall in the postseason for Texas. First of all, I can tell you that, and by the way, another base hit for West Virginia has made it 11-0 Mountaineers. Adrian Rodriguez, just in the 7 NCAA tournament games, and that's the 3 games that Texas swept through in the regional, beating Holy Cross and Tarleton State and UC Santa Barbara, and sweeping the best of 3 super regional, beating Oregon in 2 straight, and the 2 games they played so far here in Omaha. So they played 7 games. And, of course, they're 6-1 in those games. The one loss was the Saturday night loss to Georgia. In the 7 games, Adrian Rodriguez is batting .667. He's 18 out of 27 at the plate. He has scored 9 runs. He has 7 doubles, a triple, 2 homers. He's driven in 16 runs and drawn 4 walks. The slugging percentage is .1222. The on-base percentage, .647. He also has 3 sacrifice flies and has stolen 2 bases. So he's just been – now that's overall. Here in Omaha, Adrian Rodriguez is 7 out of 8 at the plate. That equates to an .875 batting average. 7 out of 8, 2 doubles, a triple, a homer, 2 runs scored, and he's driven in 7 runs. And, of course, the 7 yesterday, an all-time Texas Longhorn record for most RBIs in the College World Series. Another run for West Virginia on an RBI ground down to make it 12-0, and the beating continues here. They will actually have to play the bottom of the ninth coming up after that. But we will be back to wrap up today's edition of the program next year on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeart Radio app.
50 years in the Lone Star State, a one-stop shop so you're never late. Price is so low that you want to know
which way to Specs.
Come on, let's go.
Specs wine, spirits, and finer foods. World-class service, that's all about you.
Shout Specs, it's how we do. A huge selection since 62. Shout Specs, low price, amazing. Here's to you.
Shout.
Cheers to savings.
Hi guys, I'm Ken. And I'm Bella, and we are Rowdy Cowgirls from Central Texas' #1 sports bar, Rowdy Cowboy. And we love Tuesdays because it's bikinis and boots. That's right guys, every Tuesday we will be in our sexiest bikinis and our cutest boots. Come see us and enjoy ice cold beer, craft cocktails, a Texas-side menu, and 69 TVs. And every Tuesday, all Texas beers and spirits are $2 off. So saddle up and head to Rowdy Cowboy in Round Rock. Let's get rowdy off of I-35 in Round Rock. Visit us at Go Rowdy Cowboy.
You've got to try the new TikTok diet.
Just ask chat.
I just take blue-green algae.
Or you could trust your gut. When it comes to your health, how do you know what's right for you? That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple, at-home gut health test that analyzes your real-time biology to give you personalized nutrition guidance and custom supplements. Not trends, your biology.
Learn more at Viome.com/know. V as in Victor, IOME.com/KNOW. And use coupon code VIOME50 to save $50 off your purchase.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
Want to upgrade your ride and help Texas students? Here's your chance. Every year, Texas Yes sets up thousands of students for success with school supplies, literacy programs, and classroom grants. Enter the Drive Away for Education drawing sponsored by Thomas J. Henry, and you could drive off in a brand new car, truck, or SUV. Plus, don't miss our weekly drawings. Every dollar goes straight to Texas schools and students. Grab your tickets right now at TexasYesProject.org.
Since 1936, Shipley Donuts has been a Texas tradition, and now Dripping Springs wakes up with them. Start your mornings right with fresh baked donuts, soft warm kolaches, and hot coffee made fresh daily at Shipley Donuts, located at 13341 West Highway 290 in Dripping Springs. They're open bright and early at 5 a.m. because at Shipley's, donuts don't just taste good, they make people happy. Skip the line and order ahead at ShipleyDonuts.com or on the Shipley's app. Start happy, stay happy.
DraftKings Sports is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, Texas. The whole world is watching one tournament right now. Group stage chaos, knockout drama, stoppage time heartbreak. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in Texas. So whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or the late match at the bar, you're in on every minute, every match, every moment, all in one app. Right here in Texas, the world's biggest stage is in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers sign up with code AM1300. Spend $5 to get $200 in total rewards. That's code AM1300. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issue in non-withdrawable prediction dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends June 28th. Terms at dkng.co/predictions promo.
Whoa, long time no see. It's me, the Rock t-shirt in the back of your closet. Dude, remember? You crowd surfed in me, man. But you haven't worn me in like forever. I get it, you're retired, but I still got some rock left in me. So take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone. We cover all 40 acres.
We get ready to wrap this one up. It's the program here at Charles Schwab Field here in Omaha, Nebraska. And Texas will take on the Georgia Bulldogs this evening at 7 o'clock, 6:45 the pregame start time, and the first pitch. And they're in the bottom of the ninth of this game right now between West Virginia and Troy. Fortunately fortunately, there were 6 hours between start times of this game because West Virginia just came off scoring 5 in the top of the ninth to make it a 12-0 ball game. This was actually a 2-0 game through 5 innings, and Troy had stranded some base runners at that point in consecutive innings, including leaving the bases loaded in the 5th inning. They were in position to tie or take the lead, couldn't come up with a key hit. West Virginia got out of it, and now the Mountaineers are closing it out, and then again they will take on the North Carolina Tar Heels tomorrow afternoon. That'll be the first game tomorrow afternoon in the bracket championship, the Final Four, basically, of college baseball, because the 2 bracket championship series will get underway starting tomorrow. And the first one will take place at 1 o'clock, North Carolina against West Virginia. And then at 6 o'clock tomorrow will be the Bracket 2 championship. We know the Oklahoma Sooners will be there. Texas Longhorns, if they win tonight, would be taking on Oklahoma. Yeah, there would be Red River rivalry here in Omaha, Nebraska, which has never happened before. Texas has not played Oklahoma here in Omaha. They have played them in regionals in the past when Oklahoma was in the Big 8 conference and Texas was in the Southwest Conference, but they never played them in a super regional and they've not played them here in Omaha at the College World Series. So in order for that to happen, they're going to have to win tonight. They're going to have to take down the Georgia Bulldogs. We'll have it for you. 6:45 is the pregame start time. The first pitch is at 7 o'clock. Luke Harrison will start for Texas. The graduate lefty, 6-3 and a 4.29 ERA. Transfer right-hander Dylan Vigue starts for Georgia, 4-1 and a 4.73 ERA, a transfer from Michigan. You can hear that contest on 103.1 FM, Austin's 80 station, but also you can hear it on the Texas Longhorns app. You can hear it on the iHeart Radio app, and, of course, online at TexasLonghorns.com, all the normal places where you get it. All right, it's going to wrap it up. Thanks to Jake Herman covering those first 2 hours of the program. Thanks to Roger Wallace joining us now. And now for Jake, I'm Craig. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned. Bucky and BK up next. Longhorn Baseball on 103.1 FM beginning at 6:45 tonight. We'll talk to you tomorrow right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
What if your next favorite hobby came with a built-in crew? That's Cornhole. Whether you're brand new to the game or just looking for an excuse to get outside, there's a whole world of players out there ready to welcome you in. Local leagues, weekend tournaments,